Mm. Good evening, everybody. Had to get my product placement in to get things started tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. It's a wonderful Thursday evening here at Cafe HQ. So many things going on. Like half the team is up in the Great Northeast getting ready for IC3 this weekend, in particular Saturday, all day Saturday, Friday night drink and draw, and all kinds of other fun things going on. And I see some of the people who are going are in the chat. I saw Stingray and Mikhail were in here already, and they're going to the IC3. I figured they'd be resting up and getting themselves some relaxation before the weekend gets going. But yeah, good to be here. Zevia commercial to get things started. You got that right, Carl Troy. I mean, one of these days they're going to catch on and they're going to sponsor the show. Throw six figures at us, and what do we do at that point? Well, I don't know. We'll either hire more staff or we'll knock down that wall and make the office bigger or something. I have no idea. But yeah, one of these days we'll have an official Zevia sponsorship. I can only dream. But as of now, things are just well, I wouldn't say they're calm around here. We've got a lot of projects going on. I'm supposed to be getting a big app update tomorrow from Andy, which has some push notifications in it, and I think I might actually see one of the first versions of the calf mail working in it. We're still targeting an end of March release for that. I'm sure everybody's excited about that too. But yeah, the Zevia champagne room, Mikhail. Yeah, I heard if you're really nice that there might be one of those at OAX next year. We might just open one up. I don't think it'll be well attended because I don't believe many of you like Zevia like I do. But we try. So, oh no, it was not last week, Marcus. It was not last week. But beyond that, but we don't have a full slate of stuff tonight, but I do have Mr. Berkey in the green room waiting. He's not at his usual digs. He's actually at his brother's house, and I think they're folding laundry tonight because he's I have no idea why, but yes, he's here. But why is he here? Because we're going to be talking a little bit about the Marvel exhibit. We've been there. I mean, heck, the first in-person event that CAF, the organization of ComicArtFans, put on was thanks to the Marvel exhibit. If everybody remembers that was back in 2022 in Columbus. Marvel exhibit was there, and we just, Billy Island was there, and we did our first get together. It was fun. I think some of you were there. Marcus, you weren't at that get together, but others were. But anyways, yeah. So Mr. Berkey's in here. I don't want to leave him here hanging any longer. But you know what? Before I bring him in, let me play his video because the video clip has lots of photographs from his trip to Cologne. It's not Cologne time yet. It's not like that, Mike. It's a different kind of Cologne. But yeah, let's go take a look at the photos, and Mike will be with us when this little video clip is done playing. Hey, it's the Ramita Man, the best art website in
Hey.
all of the world. Mike,
Bill, Bill, did you put that for my name? Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wrote in there for you. Hey, let me see if I can edit that.
Wow.
Oh, I can edit your name. Oh, I had no idea. No, I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. But I could. I didn't know I had that power. I can
Oh, you
actually
can
change.
change it. You can change it.
Okay, let's see. Want me
You
to
can just
say
change it to
Anthony's?
Vermita Man.
I could say Anthony Snyder's the best art website in the world. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you could say our Kingpin is the best character in the Marvel universe.
Oh, that wouldn't be funny then. Anthony. Uh,
Actually, you have to put Anthony. He's ANTNY. Anthony.
there you go. Anthony's got the best art website in the world. I've never done that before. 5 years in, the things I'm learning about StreamYard these past few weeks is amazing. Here, I'll go back and switch it. We don't want anybody thinking you're promoting the guy who's who
That's okay. You can keep it at Anthony's.
no,
Me and
no.
Anthony, we're both dueling dealers. It's all good.
Use an executive order, says Rich Danny's. That's exactly what I did, but I don't think I can lock him out though. So he can change his name right back to whatever the heck he
Did
wants
I?
to. I believe so. Yeah, you could change it on the fly.
Oh.
But oh, John, did you come over
Hey,
here to
hi
fold some
everybody.
clothes?
Hi world.
Yeah. Are you gonna do
I gotta
some
adjust my
laundry?
edit with my vaporizer. Bye.
Oh boy. Nice to see John, as always. But Mike, so is Cologne the first outside of the U.S. trip that you've made with the Marvel exhibit?
Oh yes, it's the first time I was in Europe. Yeah, it was a really nice time. I tell everybody too. The two guys that set it up, Ben Saunders and Patrick Reed, they're great guys. I said if they ever ask you, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to loan art to them, and they give you a free trip for two to wherever the museum's at too, just by loaning them artwork. So why would anybody not want to do that? And I
Hey,
know the
tell him
next one. I know that.
I'll loan him some.
Yeah. And they pay for the air in the hotel. They're very gracious. The museums do. I know the big thing. I know they're doing a big Jack Kirby exhibit in California coming up soon. Then in May is the big all Spider-Man exhibit in Chicago. So I'm going to be there for sure for the opening in the middle of May, because that's a completely separate show with all new artwork for. Because this was the Marvel show, but the Spider-Man show is in May, and I think May is the Jack Kirby show. I'm loaning him art for the Jack Kirby show in Los Angeles.
Here, I'm gonna, just because most people probably don't know about it, I'm putting the link to the Jack Kirby exhibit that, like you said, it's in May, right?
Yeah.
Sometime in May. So you've loaned them some artwork for that too?
Yeah, well, I'm loaning. They're coming over my house to pick up the art in a week or two.
Oh,
for the Jack Kirby exhibit. I'm giving them some stuff. I have some cool 60s. I have a real nice 60s Jack Kirby pinup he did in 63 of a Hulk picking up a building and a couple other Kirby pieces out of my collection. I'm giving them for that. I only have a few Kirbys in my collection, but since I collect Hulk, I had the Hulk pinup.
Right.
From Tales to Astonish 62.
Now, I do believe you promised that I was going to get to go to Cologne with you, and then you ended up taking your buddy Chris. So
I don't remember that, but okay. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, Bill, if you really want to go,
yeah,
not this exhibit, but the exhibit that's in Madrid, Spain, that ends this week, it's going to be in another section of Germany, they said, in a month or two. So if you wanted to go, I'll take you there.
Yeah, I'll go to Germany. I was there once, but I had a great time.
They didn't know exactly the exhibit. They
got
said
good beer and good
Germany,
schnitzel.
the other exhibit's going to be the one that's in Madrid, Spain now.
Yeah, take Bruce.
So we'll figure that out.
All right. Jason is asking you, where in Chicago will the Spider-Man be? Do you know?
I do not know that answer.
Is there an exhibit coming up in Chicago?
All I know is it's in the city of Chicago.
That's all you know. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where.
So back to Cologne.
Yeah.
So you and Chris went, and how many pieces of art from your personal collection are in the
I believe I have 10 in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. They just show a couple pieces in the program. It's one of my favorites. My my Hulk 139 cover.
Now I think people are going to be so fed up.
Now this is the program from New Zealand, but they say it's the same setup.
So you could have went to New Zealand and you didn't go, right?
I didn't go to New Zealand. Yeah.
You could have went to Australia and you didn't go.
No, I didn't go to New
Zealand.
But there's a real nice Spidey 10-page. That's mine. A real nice Spidey 90-page. The page where Captain Stacy gets killed. That's the cover scene. I used to own. You ready for this, folks? That Spidey 300 cover.
Mm-hmm.
In 2002, I bought that cover for $4,000. And
2002.
And then I sold it in 2004 for $12,000. You know.
You thought you were doing all right, didn't you?
I made the stats for that. It had no stats on it. I made the stats for all that, and it still has the same stats on it that it had in it. I don't know if there's any more, but yeah, that's pretty much all that they showed. But yeah, I had 10, 11 pieces in there, including the real cool 67 animation cell was in there.
I saw that where he was taking a ride on that.
Yeah, I remember the one with the Viking. Yeah, and that's mine too.
Oh, that's right.
Page, the 82. It's cool because the script, Stanley's script was with it too, for all the pages. So it's the last page of Spidey 82. That's one of the lesser ones.
Oh, that's right. Ben, when we saw the show in Columbus, didn't Ben have the script with him at that point?
Yeah, he loved it. I had the whole story Stan script, so I sold it all to Ben.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
He's so into it. I sold it. He asked me if he could buy it. I sold him the whole story. I sold him the whole story, all 20 pages.
Mm-hmm. Man,
so really cool. But the show is great, and they put on such a great show, and it's really good. And the last night, that last picture you showed, where all of us sitting around the table, there were 6 of us.
Yeah.
Me, Ben, my buddy Chris, Ben, and Patrick, and then the other 2 people, the girl and the guy, real nice. He set up the sound for the show because every hall you go to, they put different sound, and then she was the setup person for the show. So all 6 of us went out to dinner last Friday night, and we had a great time.
I saw Zatari was in a couple of the photos.
Stuff. What's that?
I saw Mike was in some of the photos with you. The other Mike.
Oh, Mike Hansen. Yeah, him and his wife were there. We all went out to dinner because he loaned art to the museum. Also, like I said, people that loan art to the museum, they fly you out.
I know. Give Ben give him my contact info. I've got his email address.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see if maybe they'll take your Captain America shield signed by Stanley that some awesome guy gave you as a gift.
I've got that nice Dave Cockrum model sheet piece that I got from you. That could be of interest to them.
I know. We should get Ben to come out to your place, see if they can use anything. That way, you and Maureen could come every time.
That would be. I'd like that. How do you like that gnome of mine? It's a crochet gnome.
All I see is the Hulk wearing a dress.
No. I do have pants on, everybody. Just so you know. Was it almost 2 weeks ago when I dressed as Cap for that pose? During the live stream. For Tulio's art sale. As soon as that show was over, I had to run over to Maureen's parents to have dinner, right? And Jan, her mom, says, "Bill, I made you something," and I'm like, "Oh boy, what did you make me, Jan?" She knitted me a Captain America gnome, and she had no idea about me dressing as Cap like an hour before. And so if anybody was wondering what this thing is, and I have no idea how she picked Captain America, but if anybody would like one.
And she stitched that entire thing, huh?
Crochet.
That is awesome.
She gave Maureen a generic leprechaun looking one, but I got Captain America.
Wow.
She doesn't know I like Thor. Maybe she would have made me a Thor. Anyway.
Do you still have the mask I gave you?
I do.
Okay.
It'll
probably fit right on top. Yeah.
It's right there.
You should put that on top of the gnome. I bet it'll look good.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Oh boy. Yeah. One of these days we're gonna get a picture of you in that.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the story is? I bought that on eBay and I realized it was for an 8-year-old, so I gave it to you.
Oh, I remember. The first time I put it on.
Oh god. That thing is skin tight. That's how you got the nickname Bill Lash, I think.
It started somewhere around there. Yeah, we were looking at Marcus's calf gallery the other day to figure out the origins of Bill Lash. I'd forgotten what comic that was from. I thought it was a bet.
I believe it was that character from Avengers 330, this black guy that has this crazy tight mask, and we called you Bill Lash when we were selling one.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Well, hey, it helped you sell the art. You should do that more often. But again, back to Cologne. So
Yes.
you got there. You got to sightsee a little, but the show was great. I mean, they have a different thing now. He's holding a cup of coffee.
Yeah, they have a totally different thing. The different Hulk, the different Spider-Man. They have the. Remember when the normally the Thing was sitting on the bench. Now they have the new Miss Marvel sitting on the bench.
Oh, I didn't see it. You didn't take a picture of that.
No, because I didn't want to sit with her. But hold on, I have a picture of it from the show here. Let's see.
Why wouldn't you sit
I have
with
a
her?
picture from the catalog here. Hold on, let me see.
Berkey.
What?
That's nuts. You should have done it. It's a
I
photo op.
just didn't take a picture of that one.
And if you were thinking, you would have worn like a Ramita Man shirt or something. You know, it's always a marketing opportunity when you're going. All right, let me see. Oh, you know, I saw Patrick Reed had put a photograph of that.
Yeah, you can sit next to her. Yeah.
Did they have the?
There's the Hulkster that I was with. But the show is really, I mean, it's very interactive. They have a cool thing where you can stand on a platform, and you could be in Tony Stark's outfit, and they take an image of your head and everything, and then you use your arms and you repulsor ray shoot different things in the Stark's laboratory. So that's a cool new interactive thing they have. And when you go into Doctor Strange's area,
I remember that. It was like going into a Steve Ditko strip.
Yeah. What's that?
It was like going into a Steve Ditko Doctor Strange page.
Right. Right. So there's tons of mirrors and everything.
And did they have the Rainbow Bridge for Thor too?
And they had the Rainbow Bridge for Thor also.
You didn't take a picture of that either.
No,
Thanks
it was
for thinking of me.
Section. You know, Thor is arguably one of the least popular Marvel heroes, so you know, we didn't really want to delve in there. Probably because of Bill of Thor, I'm not sure, but oh yeah, there's the that's
there
the
you
Hulk area there.
Yeah,
that's new with Hulk.
Fitting,
like the Doctor Strange area with Doctor Strange and the Spider-Man mannequin. That was a sort of cool.
Oh boy! Well, you know, you kind of look more like
there it is.
than Anthony does. Basically, if you shaved your head, you might be the spitting image of Fisk. Yeah. Oh, there you go. See, they didn't have that.
Want to make that bigger? I'm not sure if that was there or not, but
I know it was in the. See, you didn't even go in the Thor section. That's how much you don't like the character.
I don't mind Thor, but they didn't really have a whole lot with Thor. Let's see if they had anything else.
That's right, Tony. Yeah, I got to see it a couple times, and it was always a good show. Chuck Costas was also involved with the early shows, getting some pieces set up. We're gonna have Chuck on in a few weeks doing a prop store thing, and I did hear that there's a Mike Zeck exhibit that's going to happen in the U.S. not too far away from now, but I don't know. I don't want to say where it is unless somebody in the chat already knows. But
that's great.
It's close to you though, Berkey, from what I heard.
Is that right?
Well.
Maybe by Ohio State then or something.
Yeah, it might be a few hours drive for you, but I think in a few weeks we'll learn more about that. So that's
cool. That's cool. Mike Zeck is one of the greats, so he deserves an exhibit.
Yes, he does. We don't want to keep looking at this Hulk and you here. Let me get this out of here.
Are there other ones?
Well, there's no other good ones. All the other ones are just you hanging out with costume characters.
No, that's with them. Yeah. Nope. And all the costume characters were there because the opening night was last Thursday. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
On my birthday, which was crazy enough, that was my birthday night.
That's why you were all dressed up then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. The people there were all nice. It was a great show.
Good. So it's going to Madrid or a subset of the show?
No, there's still one in Madrid. They have two shows. Madrid has been going on since November. That ends like next week. But the Madrid show is they believe it's tentatively going somewhere in northern Germany. That show. Yeah, there's a Marvel show in Madrid now that's going to northern Germany, and this one. Then of course the Kirby show in Los Angeles, and the all Spider-Man only shows going to Chicago in May.
Got it. But because what part of the country is Cologne in then?
That's right on the border of France,
So
The
it's
far west
southwest.
side. That's right
Yeah.
next to, literally on the border of France and Germany.
All right. Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind going back. You just keep me posted on the
I will,
next
buddy, for
trip.
sure.
I'll be your +1.
Yeah. And
Hey,
we'll
anything
do
for
a
a
show.
free trip to Europe. Maybe we
that'd be
could
cool.
time it and I could go to Lake Como. That might be fun.
That'd be real cool.
Yeah. So so what else is going on? So you whooped Anthony Snyder last night. Took him to the cleaners. Yep, that's always a good thing. And so I guess we talked about it. You will probably do a regular doing dealers in a couple weeks, right? Or is it
Yeah, I
3
guess
weeks from now?
3 weeks from yesterday.
3
yeah.
weeks from yesterday. All right. Yeah, because I got an amateur show in 2 weeks, and Anthony's doing a solo show next week. But and next show for you. Where are you going? San Diego, or right? You don't go to
Next
any
show will
other
be San
shows?
Diego. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might go to that show. You never know.
Yep. You should be. So yep. So that's about it, folks.
All right. So
So,
all right. Well, then that's it, man. See, this was
Yeah.
easy.
nice and easy.
Yeah.
Anybody want any cool art? Just hit me up. I still have a lot of goodies from our remember the big show with you and Bill. I still have a lot of goodies. I haven't put hardly any of it on my website yet. So if anybody's interested in anything, give a shout out. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. We got some stuff to talk about too. I'll give you. Are you gonna be around this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. We're having my surprise 60th birthday
surprise
party is this Saturday. Yeah.
Did I see your dad in the background when
You want to see a picture of my dad?
Well, the back of his head, right? I mean,
Back of his head. John was just cutting his hair.
Yeah, I'm giving him a pedicure right now.
John's giving Dad a pedicure right now. Old Dad Berkey's going to be 91 next month.
Oh my goodness! Look, there's Marilyn Monroe.
There's Marilyn Monroe down there. I got that from Anthony in a trade for John.
What?
There's Marilyn. Jess loves Marilyn Monroe, so we got the painting and that. Oh, there's Spider-Man bronze on the wall over there.
I gotta ask, what did you trade Anthony for the Marilyn Monroe?
A piece of art. Jess wanted it, so I gave Anthony a piece of art. Anthony said it's so big in my warehouse. I want to get rid of it, so I gave him a piece of art because John, we visited. Jess loved it, so
That was in New Jersey.
Right, so we traded, and I got the Marilyn Monroe for him. Yep. This is the stuff John's into, all the Wizard and War stuff.
Yeah, John is like a wizard, isn't he?
He was so into Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff in the 80s. I said you should have gotten into art. You'd be a wealthy man.
He chose to be a nerd instead. That's how I got my start.
Yippers. All good.
All right, man. Well, listen, I'll
right.
What day is your birthday? Is it on Saturday? Are they doing the thing on Saturday?
No, it was March 6th. It was last.
Well, I know
Thursday.
it was
the actual opening night of the German show was on my birthday.
But the surprise party for you this weekend.
Yeah, it's this Saturday. Well, I said in our family, I'll make it real quick. In our family, whenever it's somebody's birthday, you can go to whatever restaurant you want. But I do it differently. I love Thanksgiving. So we're actually having about 20 to 25 people over my house. And everybody's bringing something, and it's all Thanksgiving dinner. So we're having 2 turkeys, 1 roasted, one smoked, and 1 regular. And everybody brings a side. We just hang out the whole day and watch movies. And I do trivia in the evening, and I give away valuable prizes.
I've participated in a few.
Yeah, so that's what we do. It's a lot of fun to hang out the whole day.
Everybody knows if they bring you a turkey sandwich at the next show you're going to, that you'll be forever in their debt.
Yes, I just like Thanksgiving, so it's a good time.
All right, man. Well, say hey to everybody over there, and I'll call you on Sunday.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
All right. See you, Mike.
Take care, everybody. See you next time.
All right. See, it's always fun at the that is the house that Mike used to live in. Well, and John was there at the time too, so they both lived there. And then Mike got he got the real Ramita mansion going by the lake and everything. So, which is where he's at now. And look, Carl, you have so much in common with Mike. Did you know that you love Thanksgiving and you share the same birthday? I have no idea. And Stingray loves turkey and carbs. Stingray. So Stingray's going to IC3, everybody, this weekend. I should remind everybody. I can pull up the. I know I've got a slide for it here. This Saturday, at Southern Connecticut State University in New Haven, Connecticut, is IC3, produced by all of us here at ComicArtFans.com. 175 indie creators and panels all day, very focused on the business side, but also it's all educational. Lots of good stuff going on there. And as they've got portfolio reviews, free parking. We don't even have free parking at OAX. A scavenger hunt and gift bags for the first 100 people coming through the door. So good thing. And a lot of CAF members will be there. I know that Mikhail and Tyler T, Jason D'Ambrosio will be there. Who else am I forgetting? I mean, I already said Stingray's going to be there. Who else? I should go look at that chat group. But Kazra's going to be there. Colin, Matt Sardo. So a lot of collectors. Anthony's going to show up there because he's trying to get himself a table or something. He wants to, I don't know, bring over some of his indie art and show it off and hang out there with his son, since Jameson is doing his own independent work, as is Rich. Warehouse Rich is going to be there too. So busy weekend in New Haven. This is only a single day show. It's a Saturday only show from 10 to 6. They do a drink and draw at the main hotel and on Friday night. I think it starts at 8 and probably ends around midnight, so everybody gets a good rest. And then they do an after party after the show back at the hotel as well. So, and I can't remember the name of the hotel. I should. I just wrote it in the newsletter today. But again, busy weekend. I wish I was going, but I have a feeling that everybody who's going to go is going to pick up some art and will meet creators they never thought of picking up stuff from before. So I even commissioned 3 artists myself. Kazer's picking up the art for me. I bought a piece of art from another gentleman, Chris Anderson, after seeing his work and some of his YouTube videos. There was just the perfect image for me to get. So hopefully sometime, well, probably won't be next week. Maybe the week after that, I'll be able to show off the artwork that I got from IC3 without having to travel there. So there you go. I can show you the schedule. We got, I don't think I've added anything new to our schedule this week, but it's, I have a lot more to add though. I do. I've got a few extra interviews that I've lined up for the month of April. But we got the show this weekend. I have a Hakes preview on Monday. That's St. Patrick's Day. I have a feeling that a mandate will be issued by the Hakes team that everybody has to wear green one way or another. I'm going to see if I can find something that's got like dollar bills all over it. And but I don't know what they're going to wear. I think it'll be a non-coordinated green dress day on that Monday. Then I've got Ali M, who will he's been to OAX and he's going to be doing an interview with me on next Tuesday. Got Anthony doing an art drop on Wednesday. Following Monday, like I mentioned, Chuck Costas is going to be with me. We're going to talk about the prop store auction that's starting right around that time. With there's a lot of art in it, but also we'll get a teaser about this Zek exhibit that he mentioned to me in an email the other day. And also, what else he got going on? Well, he has some good information that I think a lot of those of you who've contemplated having collectibles insurance will be be very interested to find out about. I don't want to talk about it right now because we've been kind of postponing it for a while, but Chuck's got a few good stories to relay to everybody, and I don't even know the outcome to them yet either. But we'll learn a little bit about that. I've got Mr. Tom Fish on Tuesday, March 25th. And I'll tell you, I actually might debut a piece of art on that evening as well. You know, Mr. Fish is into first appearances, and I might have something that I don't think it'll be of interest to Tom, but he'll at least he'll like to see it. So we'll debut something else that night during that interview. And we have a awesome amateur match between Mr. Kopecky and Mr. Brezel. That'll be on the 26th of March. We got Jeff Moy back here for a sales show. Jiggy and the crew are going to be here on the 2nd of is it the 2nd? Yeah, I guess the 2nd of April. Is that right? No, that's not the 2nd. Because I think the 2nd is middle of the week. It's got to be the 5th. I got that wrong. So it's Saturday the 5th, and that'll be a 9 p.m. show with Jiggy's team. I forget what theme he had in mind for that, but as soon as I go back and look at my notes, I'll put it in there. It was a themed show, though, that's for sure. Then I'll have so I got everything jumbled up here. I got it. It's a mess. The Heritage Auction preview is actually not that day. It'll actually be on the 31st of March. Man, I really screwed that one up. March 31st is the auction preview with Joe Manarino, and then Hembeck and Mike Berkey. I don't think Berkey's going to do that drop now. I think we're going to do a regular match that night. And then Sarah Jane Blum will be back with me on the 29th of April. And then our next major Comic Art Live event our 11th will be the weekend of May 17th and 18th. So plenty of stuff going on there for your comic art pleasure. And I do have at least 3 other interviews that get lodged in there as well. Let's see. Marcus says Bill can go to Germany on a whim, but not to IC3. uh, yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, trust me, I really do regret the fact that I'm not going to IC3. That's after getting the chance just to see more of the art, talk to some of the creators. I mean, shoot, it almost might feel IC3 looks like it'd feel like a vacation as opposed to to OAX. I mean, just I think I would have been a lot more relaxed than I should have went. And CJ says I need more Zevia. Hey, let me get that product placement back in there one more time. Nothing like it. All right. Number one Marvel fan wants to see what Hembeck offers this time around. Yeah, me too. Me too. He and I have we've emailed a few times of late. He's got some different projects that he's been working on, and we're just I'm his chat buddy now. Now that we've worked together so many times, he's asked me a few questions about stuff. But it's fun. It's fun. Actually being able to say I have Fred Hembeck as a friend, right? Not everybody can say that, but I think I can finally say that as well. The Uncola. um. Anyway, so where would we go from here? I've got what else do I got here? I'd like to say it's going to be a fairly sedate show today, I think. I mean, we don't have a ton of things going on. But I do have I got a page I love to play from Darryl Banks, and Darryl's name is spelled with 2 R's. I almost did it with 1, and I will never make that mistake again. I think when I first created it, it was I had it with 1 R, and I realized very quickly that I had made a mistake. But outside of that, I did want to circle back to the app. I know that we've gotten a lot of feedback about the app from different, from people just with different things going wrong. And I know that, I think I talked about it on a stream a few weeks ago, or maybe not. I'm in a few private chats, and I've got a few private emails going back and forth with other collectors. But there was it wasn't a bug. Andy probably thought it was a feature, but basically the app was set to expire your login token every 7 days, thereabouts. It actually wasn't set to the day, it was set to the number of minutes. So whatever that ungodly number was, is what it was set to. So somehow, if everybody was a little frustrated with getting logged out of the app, that was why. And one of the things that will be corrected in the V2 app version will be the logout feature will be corrected. I mean, you could still get logged out for other reasons, but essentially the token will renew itself versus expiring. So it'll renew itself, and you got to be using the app for it to be able to renew itself. I think if you go a certain length of time without using the app, it would actually log you out. But yeah, if you keep using the app, it'll keep you logged in. So I think that was the number one. Italics. Are we stripping your italics, Robert? I know that there was a lot of HTML that we purposefully stripped out of gallery descriptions, and it was just because it looked bad on the phone in general. But italics, I guess, could be one of those things we could leave in there. I'll make a note of that. Like I said, what I gave Andy was a list of HTML formatting tags to keep, and italics probably wasn't one of them. All right, well, we'll see. Okay, everybody. Okay, see everybody. Okay, how do I know? I don't know everybody's using italics. Well, now I do understand that. It makes sense if you're quoting somebody or whatever. But yeah, there was just certain things that people were putting into their code that people were writing spans and other things, and literally was making the text flow off of the screen. Who wants to see that? So we had to. So that's why I basically started by telling Andy, these are the only HTML tags that we want to keep, like an A for a link, or a B for a bold. But yeah, italics was probably not in my list. So I've made a note to add that to the list. But other than that, the Android users will be happy because the back button is going to work. I know that some people said they could go back a few spaces. Well, this one works now, where you can dive in like 15 layers, and now you can back your way out of that. So I'm not looking at my task list, but calf mail is really the other big thing, and that's so it'll be fully integrated. You'll be able to send and receive emails through the app, and we will not roll it out until push notifications for when you receive an email are working as well. but push notifications are working right now for when you receive a comment. So you get a push notification, click on it, takes you into the app, loads up the image that you got the comment on. We're rewriting it a little bit to make it a little bit more bulletproof, I guess would be the way to look at it. But it works well. But unfortunately, right now I'm the only one who has a version that's beta testing it, because we're waiting to this little bit that we're rewriting. As soon as it's done, I'm going to roll it out to everybody, because the cool thing once that one thing is done, like, because it'll actually include any comments that are happening from the website. So you'll be hit all over the place with comments at that point. Not a problem, Robert. We aim to please. We want to keep we want the thing to be functional and as close to the way you are able to interact with CAF, right, on the website. Not just we don't want them to be so different that the viewing and the experience is totally different. But it is what it is. But Stingray, you're an Android user, so yeah, the back button will be in place. And I get it, because I test with an Android, and it was and I didn't quite understand the usefulness of the back button. I'm like, why don't you just hit the X? It is actually easier to hit the back button. I think if Apple, it's probably a patented feature of the Android, so Apple hasn't copied it yet. But using the back button after I started using it was pretty intuitive and easier to use than the closing of the clicking the X. Rom wants to be able to search by username. Yeah, that is that has been talked about, and it is on it's on a list of potential to-dos, but I don't know if we'll get that into V2, but I will write that down so that because trust me, I want one too. The search, there isn't one on CAF. You can't search by user on CAF. So yeah, and that would be an easy one to add. QR codes will rock. And that was because I think it was Ram. I think Ram, you were the one that emailed me about wanting a quick and easy way to share a gallery, share a person's gallery when you're both sitting there with the app together and you can't figure out how to share your gallery. What I felt would be the easiest thing to do would be that if you're when you're in the app logged in like you have to be, that when you're either on your dashboard or on your gallery, you could basically click your avatar, because that doesn't do anything right now. Click your avatar and it would be like a slide down profile for you that would have a QR code on it or similar that could be scanned by the other person, and it would load up the CAF gallery on the other guy's phone. So essentially like having your own CAF business card. And that might, now that I think of it like that, it makes even more sense to do it. So because you know what would even be better is that on that CAF business card, if the person you're talking to doesn't have the CAF app on their phone, that there would also be a smaller QR code for them to get the app. That might even be, I mean, this would be, talk about social marketing. Oh man, this is almost sounding too good. So thank you, Ram, for the initial idea, and we're just running with it now. I'm loving this. Make a note of that. That'd be kind of cool. You could actually kind of personalize your card, and then I think we could do some really interesting things back on the website with that too. All right. Everybody likes the QR code. Okay, cool. No, I'm with you guys. I'm totally with you. It needs to be in there, and a user search would also be a huge benefit for everyone. Let's see, what is Stingray saying? Is there a plan to have it so like if open a CAF link, it'll go to the app instead of yes, that is something I hope to have in V2, because I don't think it's very complicated, but it's not something I've talked to Andy with a bunch. Essentially, I mean, it's a very simple thing to do, where basically it's something that gets integrated into the phone itself, where the phone knows that a link that has ComicArtFans.com in it is supposed to redirect to the app. The issue that I think we might have with that is, what if it's a link to a page that doesn't exist in the app yet? I mean, what if somebody sends you a link to, I don't know, the I have no idea, the classified search. We don't have a classified search in CAF. So how do you translate that and put you on the right page in the app when the thing doesn't exist? So that there's a little bit of hesitancy, at least for my part, to put that in there. But it is on our kind of task list to do it, because clearly with the pages that are already there, anything in a gallery, a site search, those sorts of things would make a lot of sense. So it may end up coming down to whether we have it work with pages that are known, and when the page isn't in the list, it sends you to the the phone, Chrome on the phone or whatever browser you're using. But yeah, so it is doable. And I can also tell you that one thing that we haven't added to the website itself, so that when people are on their phones and browsing CAF on their phone browser, whether it's Safari or Chrome or whatever, a lot of times I'm sure you guys have seen it where it'll slide down saying, would you like to download the app for this website? That's actually really another thing that's fairly easy to do, and doesn't even involve Andy. It's probably all on me, but I'm going to add that because that's going to help propagate the app too. And I actually have it on my to-do list to get done before the V2 launch happens. So that will get done. But for those of you who are already using the app, it won't matter. But for those people who stumble into CAF and don't even know we have an app, it's basically like it'll be marketing the app to those people. Use an in-app browser. Yeah, well, Facebook does that, right? Instagram does that where they have an in-app browser. So anything's possible. You're absolutely right. It's I think if you were using the in-app browser, it might get, I don't know how complicated we want to get. I can tell you that after V2, we want to go into looking at I don't know, say the art for sale sections. There's other areas that we want to really focus a lot of attention on that we've been working on other things on the side over here on. So, but the V3 stuff isn't outlined in its entirety yet. But yeah, lots of features that we want to add. I can assure you that by OAX next year there will be a lot of things. The app will look probably a lot different. All right, so we should have Discord integration so we can share memes. I don't know about that. I was talking with Maureen today, and everybody's all upset about Skype going away, and nobody wants to migrate over to what is that, Microsoft Teams or something like that. And even internally, we're kind of figuring out like what we want to use, because not anything related to Skype or anything. But Maureen suggested to me today that we need to start looking more at Discord for different things. So I don't know. There may be more Discord in my life coming up. Oh, Adam, it's so good to see you, man. And I don't think I got to ever wish you congratulations, but congratulations. And I know you got a lot of other priorities, but it is nice seeing you in the chat tonight. Let's see, just got to have it save username and password on the app. The thing is, that's funny. Like at least on Android, whenever I log in, it asks if it wants to save it, and then it never does. I don't quite understand it. On the iPhone, I don't know, but I can look into that, saving the login. But the big thing will be, if you weren't here when I first started talking about it, Adam, we won't log you out anymore after V2. V1 had a 1 week period before it would forcibly log you out of the app. Andy wasn't really aware of it. I wasn't aware of it, but we did discover it a few weeks ago, and it is going to be fixed in this next version. Tim says Skype is going away. Yes, it is. Microsoft has decided not only to stop supporting it, but to make it go bye-bye, and which kind of seems crazy because it works just fine. But yeah. So Chris Snork, our Discord could use a boost. Yeah, we need to get. I need to promote that more. I'm sorry. I know every time I say that, I should have a saved link somewhere where I can share it so we can get more people using the Discord, but I never have it handy. I know Mikhail always sends it to me, but yeah. So that's the app in a nutshell. We're still shooting for the end of March as the launch of V2. And trust me, there's actually been things that we have fixed and modified while we go. Not everything is a new download of the app to fix it. There's, because the app is kind of comprised of different elements. The API portion of the app is one that you can edit on the fly. So when there's a few bugs that we found, you could just go in and we fix things by just editing the API. There's just bigger, more substantive changes happen in essentially downloading the new version of the app. Yeah. So I never think to use Discord either, number one Marvel fan, but I think I really should. I don't know where Marcus writes all his comments from, but he left me a nice comment on my Thor from Near Levy that I posted earlier today, and it was funny that I don't know why when I first got the piece by Near, I didn't get to see it for a few hours. It was dropped off, and I was busy working at the show. And Near wasn't the one who gave it to me. I think it was Tatiana. So I didn't get to talk to Near about it. So I really looked at it for the first time last night when I scanned the art. And the color piece is actually, it's hand colored. For some reason, I thought maybe he like digitally colored it. Like maybe printed it on board and then digitally colored it, and it's not. It's actually all hand colored. I felt stupid. Because I didn't even get a chance to say anything to Near about the piece after the fact. So I've got to get his contact information so I can send him a nice email. He went above and beyond what I was expecting. Tim says the busiest Discord channel that he follows is Sean's Athenaeum, or is it Athenium? I never remember. Sean's Comic Art Discord. Interesting. Sean's a very active guy. He's very passionate about the indie scene. He's one of the sponsors of IC3, along with Tutulio and Tatiana and a few others, Comics Wellspring and what is it, IDW and Dark Horse? I'm forgetting who the other people are, but I shouldn't. I think I deleted that banner. Anyway, I did score with the Near commission. Thank you, Josh. And I've got some cool art that I haven't posted. I've had for a while. Some stuff I was holding back for fun, and then I never. I just forgot to post. A while back, I actually bought a piece of Alan Davis Excalibur art, and I was trying to figure out like when would be the right time to show it, and I never had the right moment because everybody likes to, rib me about Excalibur since I didn't read it when it came out. But I have an okay page that maybe I'll drop it this weekend. But because I don't have a reason. How did I find it? I was trying to put together my X-Men portfolio of published art, and I came across it, and I was like, shoot. I've been sitting on this thing probably almost a year. Skirt and legs, Marcus. No, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen. And Mikhail, thank you, Mikhail. Mikhail shot me the link to my phone. I'm going to have to, I'll share it when I'm watching a video so I can get it off my phone and over here to the chat. But yeah, I'm actually planning on doing a whole bunch of pieces that I want to drop into my gallery this weekend. And I swear to everyone, I'm going to record my my flip with my published X-Men art this weekend, so I can start getting all that artwork back up on CAF. It's long overdue. We just haven't had the right opportunity to do it. But I'd say I have stuff to open, but as packages go, but I don't. I literally have a whole stack of Hulk hands with the Thor hammer in them that I've got to get mailed out. We could say this one is going to Marcus. I should write his name on it right now. What do you think, Marcus? If I put a big MW on this and you do an unboxing, will we know it's yours? Maybe. But I've got a dozen boxes beside me that I got to print labels out for, and we're going to mail those tomorrow. Still have to collect about another 4 mailing addresses from people that haven't gotten back to me yet. But those were the best of trophies, and we had a bit of a delay because Gwen and Maureen needed to kind of paint them a little bit. They wanted to make them a little extra special, and each one of them are now just a little unique. So all right, well, see, Tim Guerrero's uploading his OAX pieces. Exactly. No, I've been sitting on it for way too long. I'm looking at him right over there. I'm gonna do that this weekend too. But what else we got? That's probably it. I don't have any art to open. Not a thing. I didn't order anything in the last week, but I did. What did I pick up? I'm still waiting. I actually picked up a few books that I will probably show off when I get them, but those are probably not due in for a couple weeks. So yeah, so that's where we're at. What is Stingray talking? It was Stingray was smart. He did like one OAX major piece a week, or it seemed like one piece a week. But Stingray, you're going to have a lot of art to post after IC3, right? I haven't followed the group chat since I was newly added to it, but I imagine that you've commissioned some people, and I do think that it would be very good for those who have gone to the show to do it. We'll do like a collector roundtable, whether it's a part of a CAF update or a standalone show afterwards. So at the very least, I'll talk with Kazra. We'll figure out the best time and date to do it. But there you go. Stingray's got one more pre-show commission than me. Awesome. One of the guys One of the guys emailed me and asked me if I wanted to see it before Casper picked it up, and I said no. I want to be surprised. Wait, and the other guy didn't even ask. He just sent me a scan of the artwork, so I got it, which is fine. It's very nice, nice piece. It was kind of a the artist, and I'll do the reveal when I get it, but it was cool. He has kind of like a Joe Dragunis kind of style, with the way he handles his ink work. I think he does like layouts digitally, prints it on board, and then inks that. But it's super affordable. I don't think I spent more than $60 on a commission, and they're all. I'm excited to show them off. Trust me, these are gonna be good. Oh, Jewish Dragons. Yeah, it is gonna be a good time. That's why we need to recap it so we can get a vibe for ourselves, since many of us are not going to be there. Oh, so you got something from Chris Anderson, Glows in the Dark. Cool. Yeah, the published piece I got was from Chris. I thought about commissioning him, and then when I saw the Phoenix that he already had done, I was like, I'll just buy that, and lighten his load in his online store. All right, cool. Well, let's see. Where are we going to go from here? We could just go to a page I love, right? Then we can swing into that. And yeah, I'm looking at my list here. That's probably, the main stuff. But before I do, because I know I'll forget this, I mentioned Comic Art Live in the schedule. That is the weekend of the 17th and 18th of May. You can think about it. Yeah, it's over 2 months away. But for those of you who have a hard time picking out art for sale from your collections and all that sort of thing, as many of us do, it's probably wise to start thinking about it now, because I believe gallery setup will begin in about 5 weeks. So, the next time you're going through some of your Itoyas and you're like, yep, I'm on the fence about this one, or I'm ready to sell this one, start setting them aside, because setup will begin probably easily by mid-April, if not maybe early April, and it's always good to have a jump on that. And what else do I got going on here, boy? But I see Chris is in the green room, so I gotta play this. Page I love. So Darryl Banks did this one. Kevin Sharp delivers once again. I appreciate that, but I do think this might be the last one I have. So Kevin's got to do some more recording, or we might be missing these for a few weeks. But here, let me go fire this thing off, and I'll see you all in a few minutes.
Hello, comic art fans, and welcome to A Page I Love. This is Kevin Sharp. Today I'm joined by longtime artist Darryl Banks, of course, of Green Lantern, Captain America, Tomb Raider, who's now working on a new series called Shadow Cabinet for DC. We'll come back to that at the end. Darryl, you have a Comic Art Fans gallery, so you're no stranger to these parts. I'll just say welcome to the YouTube show. Happy to have you here.
Oh, glad to be here, Kevin. Glad to be here.
All right, so your pick, actually the first time we've ever talked about this artist. Please tell us what cover and artist you've chosen for today.
Okay, I will try to keep this under 5 hours. I'm telling you, I could just wax poetic over my love and influence by John Romita Sr. The cover I chose was Avengers 114 because it reintroduces the swordsman and introduces the character Mantis. And it was around that time where, I loved comics as a kid, but it went to the next level with the Avengers. And then I had been a huge fan of John Romita Sr. From his work on Spider-Man. And John Romita Sr. was, I want to say, the first artist that I knew by name and could memorize and recognize his work just by the artwork as a child. It's like, I know who drew that. I could just tell, and he was the first, if little kids could have an influence, he was my first art influence, as I was learning to try to draw superheroes in elementary and middle school, so that cover, even though it kind of doesn't make sense, but it's more like the symbology of it. Obviously Mantis and swordsman aren't 40 meters tall or anything like that, but it's just more like it's a beautiful cover, everything about it. I'm not really sure who inked it. Just from the looks of it, I think it's Mike Esposito, because he inked the interior, but I'm not really sure.
Could you tell the viewers where you would have been kind of in your collecting, reading, aspirational art journey when this cover came out?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I was even collecting comics when the book was published. That was amongst maybe some of the first back issues I got, again, probably in middle school. So I want to say the cover price was 20 cents. And I remember comics were 25 cents when I first started collecting back in the 1800s. So I couldn't have bought it brand new off the stage. So most likely I traded for it because, when I was a kid, we used to trade comics once we were done with them, except certain books would never get traded. Like Avengers, that was never brought to the sidewalk for our, our weekly trade session. I'm like, no, I keep all my Avengers. Avengers is why I got into comics industry in the first place.
What do you think is great about this cover now after all your years in the business?
It's compositionally very focused on the characters we don't know. For those who are not really familiar with who the Swordsman and Mantis are, they're the largest image. I mean, from across the room, you can tell, you've got these two main focus. Now, the Avengers, you know who they are, even if they're microscopic. You can just tell from their silhouettes, Cap with a shield, or even the Vision with that collar, And so we've got a circular kind of composition, kind of framing Swordsman and Mantis as well. And I don't know what they're standing on, just the orange and yellow stripes, but it's even their perspective wise are leading our eye into it even more. I mean, it's not reinventing the wheel or anything, but it's just, it's very strong, very powerful. And to me, that's what a cover needs to do. Even as a child, I still could assess all these compositional elements. Really, the Swordsman I think I'd heard of before, but it was Mantis. I just thought, like, who is she? It's like, what are her powers? It almost looked like she was firing a beam at the Avengers along with the Swordsman, but she's not. It's just her martial arts pose. But I'm thinking, I'm seeing Thor now. This is the same Thor that can go toe to toe with the Hulk at any point in time, and he's getting knocked for a loop. So, I'm like, okay, let me see what this is all about.
Did you have a chance ever to interact professionally with Romita?
Oh, regrettably, no. I've done conventions with him, but you see, one of my many failings is I get starstruck over comic people that I grew up with, especially from my childhood. So I would see him at a show, and I'm thinking I should go say hi or something like that, but I can't because I'll just freeze up and say something weird. So I remember I was at a show. His wife, Virginia, she was just kind of going around networking, and then she came by my table, introduced herself. Of course, I knew who she was, but she didn't know that I knew who she was. And I told her, my gushing story about how I grew up with her husband's artwork. And she said, well, come on back, come with me to the table and say hi to him. What did I say in my infinite wisdom? Oh, no, I can't do that. And see, and now he's gone. I had an opportunity to have a direct invitation, and I passed on it. It's kind of like living with regret.
And then finally, any original Romita art in your personal collection?
Oh man, I wish. The short answer is no.
Well, anybody sees this Romita cover in the wild somewhere, I think we have a potential buyer here.
I'm curious what it goes for now. It's probably not cheap.
Let's jump over then to Shadow Cabinet.
Shadow Cabinet is part of the Milestone universe, which was introduced, as its own company back in the early 90s. But over time, they've partnered with DC Comics, and recently they've had a resurgence. The viewer may have been familiar with Static Shock. He was also an animated series, part of that same universe. So Shadow Cabinet pre-existed, but now we're kind of bringing it back and kind of fine-tuning some things. And I have to tell you, my writer that I work with, Joe Illidge, without giving anything away, really has come up with a good story that combines elements from the previous series with some new elements. And I got to design and co-create some new characters, which I always love to do. As people might be familiar with my work, on Green Lantern, being able to design costumes and co-create characters is that's part of my joy of being in this industry in the first place. So Shadow Cabinet, I got to draw some of the, some appearances from some classic Milestone characters, like Hardware and Static and Icon. I realized that, as I'm working on it, there was a lot about them I didn't know. So I'm, of lately, I've been kind of like becoming a student of Milestone, especially Icon. So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, these characters are really good. And it's part of my mission to help people understand that Milestone isn't just, comics for Black people. It's they're great characters, great stories that everybody could enjoy. Give them a chance. And I'm telling you, the art team I work with, it's a team effort. It's because of the number of pages. It's me and and Adagon Ilhan, Ray Height, and of course, the legendary Dennis Cowan, just to name a few. I have to shout out to my colorist, Chris Sotomayor. Amazing work top to bottom. And I'm not just saying that because it was recent work, but as I'm working on it, I'm thinking I am very fortunate to be a part of a team like this. And it also had so much positivity. So hope people pick it up, give it a chance, and enjoy it as much as I enjoy working on it.
Sounds good. Darryl, thanks again for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
My pleasure as well. Thank you, Darryl. Thank you, Kevin. I see Marcus is in there saying I should give Kevin a free ticket to OAX next year. There is somebody I think owe a free ticket to, and I have one regret from OAX, and it's post OAX situation that came about, and saying the free ticket thing reminded me of it because I really should give this person a free ticket. What happened was after the auction, I got tasked with mailing the Captain America statue to the buyer. Don't ask me how. I think I volunteered because Carlos Soca, who made the statue, didn't want to do it. So, but he kind of gave me the tips and everything on how to do it. And of course, I was a sculpture major, right? I've shipped some crazy stuff in the past, but this was a little bit crazier. It was very heavy, and the base was heavy, and the cap was heavy, and it turns out, and I didn't realize this, it wasn't even on an armature, so there was no real physical tie between the base and cap. I figured there had to be some kind of armature, at least like up through his leg, because it only had 1 foot. He had 1 foot on the base, the other foot was in the air. So I still packed that thing as good as I could have done. I mean, I literally we have this like thick cardboard. I cut pieces all around the statue and braced everything, absolutely. I mean, I did the best job I thought I could have ever done on this thing. Double boxed it. I had to go out and buy a special box for the outside box because didn't have one here. I mean, I padded the hell out of it. But I had to ship it from here to Chicago. And of course it got to Chicago, broke right at his ankle, and so I was on a video chat with the guy, and he was showing it to me, and I'm like, there's no wire in there, and he's like, no. So I called Carlos, I'm like, man, I didn't realize that. Not that it would have mattered, but I might not have volunteered to ship it if I didn't know there was a brace inside of it. So anyways, the guy made a trip all the way down to Chicago, bought one piece of art at the auction, and I busted it shipping it to him. Yeah, it does suck, but the guy was resourceful. The thing is, the materials that it was made out of, Carlos called him up and said, yeah, you can pretty much, if you can, you can actually put like a wood screw into it, just drill a pilot hole on it, and you can put it right through it, because there was enough material there, which is, again, just weird that there wasn't an armature kind of thing already a part of it. But or even better yet, that it could have been taken apart, so you didn't have this massive heavy base and then the heavy character. Anyway, if I owe a free ticket to anybody, it is that gentleman, because he was so nice about it. I mean, he gave me $60 or whatever to mail it. I mean, I weighed it, and he gave me exactly what it cost to ship, and then I still screwed it up. So yeah, I think he'll get a free ticket, and he totally deserves it. Kevin Sharp, more in the can, need to upload them, and we still have that special one that we haven't talked about yet. Hey, Bob Layton in the chat, Tom himself. It is daylight savings time now. It's getting sunset around 8 o'clock here, but hey, it is time to bring in Mr. Chris Norick, and you know what time that is. How you doing, man?
I feel like I need pyro.
That's right. We need to. Yeah, we got to get like an animated background that plays when we bring you into
Sure.
I don't know. They do have feature. You can submit feature requests to StreamYard. They keep adding this stuff that I don't need. That it's kind of buggy. It turned out that issue with the when you weren't there and the screen was blank for Chuck and I. Yeah. That day they rolled out this thing called scenes, where you can switch scenes, and apparently that was why it was broken. But yeah, but I don't. Scenes is so dumb. I'm never going to use it. It's like I looked at it. I'm like, well, I don't need scenes because I can do all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's all the scenes does, is like just changes the format from clicking to click. And I'm like, well, I already got that. What? Mm-hmm. Why? They probably spent like $20,000. Let's build this cool feature.
They had a board developer.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, they got to fire that guy, but so I can give him a whole bunch of other ideas. But anyways, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You got is that your Funko shirt? What is that?
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good. You know,
Yeah.
I was going to give away another Funko shirt. We could do that tonight. So you're wearing one. I still have one more red OAX 2026 or 2026, 2025 Funko Fukno OA Expo shirts to give away. Let me go ahead and just get that set up. Nobody do anything in the chat for this giveaway until I set it up.
Nobody do anything in the chat.
So what's new with you? Any new art pickups this last week?
I posted I got an Art Adams cover that I posted to CAF late last week, I want to say.
Mhm.
So I can say that I'm the proud owner of an Art Adams FF cover now. So
That was you got that from Grant?
I did, yes. Yeah.
He's been dropping a few other
We did a trade, so
Ah.
I didn't feel too bad about that.
Okay. Well that's good. So do you trade a lot? I didn't know
First trade I've ever done in my life.
Okay.
I don't really sell, and I don't really I get something in my claws and I tend to hold it tight.
Well, that's good. I've told everybody I've never traded, and I don't know if I ever will be able to.
Yeah, it was tough. Although trading Art Adams for Art Adams made it easy, because that's typically why I don't like the trade, is because so many times I'm a one and done with an artist, because there's so many artists I love. I'm like, okay, I've got an example, but I had an Art Adams and I was trading for an Art Adams, and they were both a thing, and so I thought that's okay.
I think that was a wise decision. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here and
That's
get
right.
it right.
I traded non-published for published. That's what I told myself. So
I mean, well, that's trading up no matter what.
Well, the piece I traded away was a full figure, and the piece I traded for was more of a bust, and I don't know, like there were pros and cons.
Oh, all right. Well, you got a great piece. That's the thing.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy.
If I were you, I'd be happy too. I probably should have made that say Funko, shouldn't I, instead of Fukno? What do you think?
Yeah.
Nobody's submitted yet.
I mean, that's the second line on the t-shirt.
That is the second line. All right. Well, we're gonna go with that. We will do a giveaway tonight. Remind everybody, it's sort of that same shirt that Chris is wearing tonight, but it is the 2025 red version, created by Jerry Bourne. Look at that. Right there with the OA Expo 2025 dates right there. It is an XL, right? Yeah, it's an XL. So giving this away tonight. And we'll do it after, we'll do it in between picks. After we do Chris's picks, we'll pick the winner of this. So yes,
solid.
Got to get it right. Yeah, okay. We got 5 people in there already. So let's see what else is going on. Gosh. Did you hear me tell everybody I have an Excalibur artwork? I've been sitting on for like 9 or 10 minutes.
I did, yeah. Alan Davis, yes. Get it up.
I am. I'm gonna scan it. I'll probably do it tonight, and I'll either post it tomorrow or maybe on Sunday. But yeah, I'm like dumb, man. I picked that up so long ago, and I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to make this into a joke. And I never did,
wow.
because everybody, I had remember Tatiana bought me a trade paperback of Excalibur and everything, and yeah.
Dying's easy, comedy's hard.
And I usually fall flat on my comedy. So what we got here? I got we can look at some Heritage art. I'll tell you, Heritage was a little dry this week. I hate to say it. When I was going through it, I was struggling, because there's always some pieces you could always pick. There'd be some Avengers pages, and I think it was even a Magnolia illustration. But I thought, we look at a lot of Magnolia art. You can't keep.
We do. Jason gets mad.
Yes, he does.
The signature though is packed.
I know. I was looking at it earlier. It was surprising. Well, the last one was kind of light, right? I mean, I think they even had like 200 less items, and and it wasn't as stellar as we've kind of come to expect. But yeah, this one's got a lot of great stuff in it.
Man, when they posted stuff to CAF, my alerts were just like scroll and scroll. Thing, Fantastic Four, it was like holy Kirby.
That is me doing that. That when anything Heritage posts, basically they actually send me like a CSV file. and that's how I get their market data too. They send me a live auction file, and then they send me a follow-up with the pricing that just has like the lot number and the final price. And Maureen has some code that just marries the two and moves it into market data. But yeah, that's me importing it. But I always get to look too when it's going in. So
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so where am I going here? Don't forget, everybody, the Fukno, hashtag Fukno in the chat, and you'll be entered for the shirt giveaway. Dave Kopecki, maybe you got his already, maybe not, but he won one not too long ago.
I'm gonna enter.
You should, please do.
I'll take one of these in red.
I thought about keeping one for myself, but I'm not. I've got, well, no, I have one. That's right. I got one. I think it's still in my OEX travel bag.
You haven't even unpacked yet.
I haven't unpacked yet. But yes, Jerry did give me one. I've just not seen it since he did. All right, so his first piece. I actually think this first piece was sold on Dueling Dealers like 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was Anthony that had it, and we all laughed when he had it because it's so violent. Or it's a Pablo Marcos, I'm saying Marcos. Pablo Marcos Zombie Tales of the Zombie specialty painting. I swear to God we sold this one. But anyways, look at that guy's getting his skull mashed, his teeth are flying out, the other guy's getting choked out, and the woman who's losing her top doesn't. I don't know if she loves the zombie or the two guys. I don't know.
Either way, she's in trouble.
Exactly. There's a story here, and I'm not sure that I want to open the book and read it, but I'm sure it intrigued a lot of people if it was a cover at some point. So anyways, that's my first one. Where am I going to from here? Oh, this is a good one. Look at that. Adam Hughes, Penthouse Comics issue 2. Yep. Look at that. Great stuff. I mean, I actually like his line work in these. I mean, I have never seen a piece that I would buy. This is a pretty nice one, but I just like this period. I mean, it's early, but he's like refined early. Some of his early stuff was you know what I'm talking about.
Dialed in here, yeah,
exactly.
I definitely agree.
Yep. So that one's out. There's only $95. I might bid on that one. Hey Nick, you always show up right when we're doing the auction stuff, just before EXP. Good to have you here, man. Hughes Unfettered, says Rich Danny.
I'm trying to remember the name of this character. This was coming out when I worked at the comic store, and we had to keep it behind the counter, of course. But I remember thinking, like, Kevin Nolan, Adam Hughes, like, man, they're either paying really well or these guys really want to let their freak flag fly. I don't know which it is, but
I agree. But this is a good one. I might throw a bit on it. I've always wanted to get one because the oldest Hughes that I have is from that Star Trek book. Which it's a good, very very nice, oversized page, and it's great work, but. Maureen was the Star Trek fan, and so it's really her artwork. But it is what it is. All right, what else we got? There was a lot of Doctor Strange artwork. Somebody must be consigning Doctor Strange related materials, because I think there was at least 10 Doctor Strange artworks. Most of it was published, but there was this Bruce Timm piece in there that I thought was pretty nice, and it is very nice. I don't know.
That is really nice.
Probably 9x12, maybe 8x10, but either way. I mean, come on! It's the angle on this thing. I mean, it's sweet.
Yeah, the scrubbing and the clouds, like the upshot perspective. That's money.
Agreed. And then John Byrne. Let's see. This is from it's Al Milgram Inc. So it's probably from Al's lots that they've been auctioning. Spider-Man Chapter 10. I just thought that first panel was awesome.
Very cool. Yeah.
It's hard to pass up a good Spidey like that.
I actually sent this one to Winger today. I was like, you need a John Byrne.
Hey, this does he not have anything by Byrne?
No.
Oh, well,
he's a loser.
What the hell? Well, there you go. What did he say? He probably didn't say anything, did he?
No, he said, wow.
Okay. All right.
So,
yes, Chapter 1, Issue 10. That is right, Stingray. Anyway, great. I think this is great. I really like this one a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think these are too expensive, so maybe Eric can pick it up and not feel guilty for buying it. Then this is an Aaron Weisenfeld, and it's from X-Men Annual 2. There's just, Weisenfeld didn't work for very long.
Yeah.
He's more of a fine artist these days. So, but I always liked his art, and I love the silhouette of the school, and this is a very like kind of like Jim Lee-ish layout. I mean, you can see
Travis, yeah.
Travis, I mean, Scott Williams inky kind of feeling. And again, it's Al Milgram inks on this thing too,
Huh.
but it's nice. And again, there's just not enough of Weisenfeld's artwork out there.
Very
So,
true.
if you want to get an example, yeah, you gotta jump on them when they come up, because they do not come up for sale too often.
Who's is the guy in the front right smoking? Is that Banshee?
I'm not sure.
Trying to
Kind
think
of
of X-Men that smoke.
right. It's kind of got the right costume, right, for that era.
The hair.
Something about they're talking about Strife. Does not say. I just read through it, not seeing it. But yeah, looks like it. Oh, Chuck says this is may have been before Weisenfeld worked for Wildstorm.
It is, yeah, it is.
Marcus reminds us that Banshee does like to use a pipe.
Well, you know what? I smoke cigars, but once in a while, Marcus.
Yep,
when in Rome.
Marcus says, I use a bong. Okie dokie. Fook, no, Marcus. All right. So, and Chuck Arnold thinks it's a tangent. It might just
That's
be
possible. It looks like smoke in front of him, though, too. I don't know.
All right. Well, it's a good page. Very good page.
Yes.
Probably won't go for a lot, because I don't think Aaron's work is highly in demand. But again, there's not a lot of it out there. So get it while you can. Then this is a Schomburg piece. I assume must have been in some kind of storybook, I would assume. But I just thought this was a fun illustration, and it probably won't go for a lot of money. But it's a Schomburg. It's from 1953, so it's 72 years old. I mean, the city underwater. I mean, alien spaceships and some weird narrative tool device here that works really well. Big piece of paper to write on. I don't know. I like it. You get Schomburg's signature down there at the bottom too.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And it says right at the bottom, it's half off.
It's half off.
Perfect.
What was I looking at the other day? I was looking at some artwork, and it said like $40 on it. I forget what it was.
Oh, isn't that heartbreaking?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck was that? But I know it was something I bought not too long ago. I easily. Oh, I know what it was. You know what it was? It was the Sienkiewicz Moon Knight page. It said $40 on the back of it. I hadn't looked at it. And that's the one I spent $4,300 on.
Yep. It's funny you say that, because I had the same thing. That trade that I did, I was taking it out of the portfolio to pack it up, and on the bottom is the original commissioner's name and $400. I was like, oh my God, full figure Art Adams commission for $400. What would we do?
Oh man. Well, it's good that it's been around that long.
Yeah.
Next up, there were a couple of these pieces like this that were kind of funny. So somebody must have just been like, you know what? Whenever a house ad comes up, I'm going to buy it. So this is a Bruce Patterson Warp 5 half page house subscription ad that, I don't know. It's funny. At the end of the day, it's like, I remember when gosh, why am I blanking on who was the guy that had all the underground art? The one that was on Heritage a few major auctions ago, and I'm
not going to remember it either.
I know the publisher, and I can't think of his name at the moment. Kitchen. Thank you. Oh God, I do need another Zevia. Anyway, because Kitchen had several images like this that they use for house ads inside of their publications, and I thought those were really cool. And so there's at least another one similar to this out there. So again, just something fun.
It's an artifact, right?
It is an artifact.
You don't subscribe to comics anymore from the comics.
Exactly. And what do you got? They have Warp, E-Man, John Sable, Star Slayer, and American Flag.
All right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Look at that. You get $13.75 in Canada, $27 to the UK, or $11 in the States. No tariff on any
bargain.
What do we got? Three more pieces. This is artist I'm not familiar with, Leonardo Manco. This is from a 1999 Avengers 1999 annual or something like that. Giant robots. Yeah. Cap's in this one. I don't know where Alberto is, but
there's some spatter. There's some dry brushing. Leo Manco was a stud.
Who I have no idea. Leo Manco. I mean, I'm gonna have to look him up, because I feel like we probably said his name before. Look, and is that Magneto in there? Right there? I didn't even notice that.
It was when you weren't reading. like he was on. I'm trying to think. I think he had a run on Ghost Rider for a while.
Okay.
Midnight Suns maybe era type thing.
Oh, Tom Layton says Bruce Patterson was one of his early assistants. There we go.
Oh,
So there you have it. Anyway, I thought this was cool. I mean, it just when I saw it, I thought, oh, it must be some Transformers art from the last couple of years or something like that. The thumbnail, because it's the style just doesn't it doesn't seem like 1999 to me. Anyways, it is a great piece of art, and I did have Dennis Kitchen on. That's why I was kicking myself. I couldn't think of his name. It's whatever.
we got there. We got
Come on,
there.
I'm almost 57. Everybody. I mean, I think I'm starting to lose some of my faculties. I don't know. Let's see. Next up, this one I have no idea who Adrian Beaton is, but this is from a 1978 2000 AD book from Dan Dare story, and I just thought using the red tones was crazy. I mean, are they on Mars? I don't know, but if it's finished that way, I just thought it was kind of cool and unique.
Yeah.
I mean, it stood out in a sea of black and white thumbnails
For sure.
and I cycled past it like 3 times, and I'm like, all right, I got to take it because I wasn't finding anything else that caught my eye and interested me as much as this one did.
I'm not familiar with Beaton either, but yeah,
$1.
Page.
$1. Yeah. I'll have to check out on CAF to see if there's any other artwork by him. But anyway, either way, cool piece of art, and you're not going to see something like this again, I don't think. Marcus says it's the Zevia that's eroding my cognitive abilities. That might be true too. And this one, I picked a piece by Geis, I think from the same book a week or 2 ago, but it's still damn good. And I even noted that in my write-up today. It's just great. And this is Barretto inks again, but I just love Geis's stuff, man. This is so cool. The other one was more splashy, but this has some action in it, and it's a DPS, and it's only $5.
There's Predator fans out there.
Oh heck yeah! Yeah, no, it's better than I thought. All right. Okay, cool. Well, let me go ahead and close that window. Marcus, seeing the side effects of my Zevia addiction in real time. And Bob says everything that Butch does is awesome. I completely agree with you. I don't think you feel the same way. I trust me. I love his work, and I think I said it to Howard when I had him on a couple weeks back. I'm like, Butch keeps getting better. It's
weird.
It shouldn't work that way, but every book I see that he's done, I mean, and you can kind of look chronologically back through his work, and he does. He just keeps getting better, and it's not the same style. He's evolving, but it's amazing.
His newer stuff is almost what would I say, like gutsier in a way.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I can assure everybody, if Butch ever would come to a show, we would have him at OAX in a heartbeat. I just know that he just doesn't like to do shows, but it won't keep us from asking at least every other year. We'll keep trying.
Tom's sticking up for the elder statesman in the chat.
That's true. Listen, Mr. Layton is one of the best and most proficient. I mean, every OAX commission he turned them around in like a couple days. I mean,
they're ridiculous.
If that doesn't scream professionalism, I don't know what does. Because artists are always busy. They get sidetracked. They wait until the last minute. Bob does not. Bob gets his work done early and at a level that we just know what to expect. Yep. You can name any Iron Man costume. He's going to do it perfectly, and it will be exactly what you wanted out of it, if not better. So you know that. And you can commission him through boblayton.com or his rep site. If it's the artistchoice.com, Spencer Beck. But
have fun with that site.
All right, but so go to boblayton.com and you can commission him through there. But yes.
Or go to tomlayton.xxx.
I'm going to buy that domain name and just point it over to boblayton.com. It's just for the fun of it. That, and I bet you porkgasm.com is available too. We could point that to Bob's site.
You know what? I bet that's not available.
It's probably a film production company somewhere in I don't even want to know where.
Or a bar.
All right, Spencer never answers emails. That's why you go straight to Bob. Bob will take care of you, and then he ships whenever he does commissions. I know that he ships them over to Spencer, and Spencer mails them out for him. So one way or another, there you go, Bob. Even
Kerosene.
Kerosene.
You can
powered.
smell it.
Have you told him that? We've been trying to tell Spencer that for years. That I mean, he should just turn that decades, exactly. Yeah. His site has not changed since I came into the hobby in 1998. So that's a long time, Bob. But hey, if it works for him, it works for him. So site points to, yeah, thanks, Marcus. All right, people, don't forget, there is a giveaway for that Funko Fukno OA Expo shirt. There's only 16 people entered in right now. It's not great. Ours is a red one.
It's red.
Yep. Chris has the classic 2024 shirt. This is the 2025 shirt, thanks to Jerry Bourne. And we will draw the winner in between the picks that we do tonight. So just put that hashtag in there. It's right down there. So, okay, well, we can play the EXP video now. Nick is back at it tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on the EXP channel. You watch him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and wherever else he can stream to. I don't think he can stream to X anymore. They don't make it easy to go onto that platform. And
he should have a steak channel.
They should.
Nick should have a steak channel.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that was funny. What did he post on his socials the other day? Something about Italians only eating, the stereotype of Italians only eating pasta. And it's fine. It's like, we know that he's eating steak every night.
Yeah.
Right? Every night. Oh, man. And let's see. Bob is letting us know that he's going to have a new Where in the World episode in May. He's going to be in Osaka for the Comic-Con the first week of May. Okay, that's awesome, Bob. That's cool. Maybe, you know what we can do, Bob? The weekend of the 17th and 18th is our next Comic Art Live event. We could do like a 1-hour panel with you, and it could all be about your trip to Osaka. We could show the video then, and well, let's think about it. We can do it on CAF Update, but because you're the man, you pick where you want it to debut your Where in the World episode. So we'll talk after you get it in the can. All right, let's take a look at what Nick is doing tomorrow night, and then we'll get on with the rest of the show. Where's that video clip? Here it is.
Everybody, Friday, March 14th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Original Art Experience. We have some really cool original art. This week's going to be a little bit more of a premium show, and you guys will see why, because it is really big, really awesome. There will be some affordable art, don't get me wrong, but a little bit more on the premium side. But even on the premium ones, we're going to have some fantastic deals. So, DC Deceased Brett Booth cover in homage to Todd McFarlane's Detective cover. You've got Vampire Batman, I forget the woman, holding her in his arms, getting ready to, I don't know, bite her. I don't know what else to say. Then we have the Jurassic JLA. Check it out. You got the Flash here. You got Green Lantern, Hawkman. They're all over the place. We'll go over it. You know, these are pure pencil covers that were digitally inked. They're still cool, and we'll have color examples to put up next to it. Then we have Thundercats Lost #1. This is our Bagley row. This is the first time Bagley has drawn the Thundercats. Here's the first time Bagley drew Darkwing Duck. And we have Phoenix #5 with Thanos with the Phoenix power. Really great cover. Then, Oh Canada. Since Canada's been in the news a lot, we thought we'd bring some Dale Keown. Action Comics 1043 from 2020. I can't believe it's been 5 years. That can't be right. I don't know. What do I know? My memory. Steel Trap, Rusted and Shut. Then we have this JSA, Justice Society by Dale Eaglesham and Rodney Ramos. Check it out. So another pure pencil, although here, because he used blue pencil as well, you can actually see more. It's kind of cool. Then we have Demona #1 cover by Jay Lee. This is fantastic. All I can say. Then we're going to have Death of the New Gods with Metron. Jim Starlin. You never know. Maybe I'll do a Starlin page at $200. You know what? You guys are worth it. Let's call it that. $200 for that Starlin page. Let's see what else. My phone's ringing in the other room. You think I'd put it on silent? Then we got Mannix. We got Mannix Thundercats. We got Mannix Silverhawks. Then, just as a little bit extra something, we've got the Daredevil #1, Marvel Knights. Check out this sketch by Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. 215 out of 300. This is from 1998. Certificate of Authenticity. 215. It does have a green label because this is when they couldn't verify signatures and sketches unless they saw them themselves. So, but you got my certificate. I actually saw these being signed and remarked, so they're really cool. Look, the Daredevil TV show is back. It's awesome. The first episode was a slow burn, but reestablished everything, and yet took it in a direction that, well, let's just say, if you haven't seen it, there are some surprises. Okay? Second episode really gets going. I can't wait for the third episode this week. So, by the way, did you hit that thumbs up? Did you subscribe? Please subscribe too. Hit that thumbs up. So, Friday, March 14th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the original art experience. And I guess you'll see me there. Take care, everybody.
There you go. Some good stuff.
Yeah.
I was doing some research on who that Adrian Beaton was, and there's like not a whole lot of information out there, but I found this article on downthetubes.net that just mentions and just says he's kind of a mysterious figure. Did a little bit of work in some other Marvel titles, or weird stuff, but other 2000 AD. But apparently he's had a few pieces in Heritage Wednesday auctions. I was just looking, like this one ended just yesterday. I didn't see this last week. Look at that. I mean, it's kind of cool. We get a spaceship. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, so I don't. Again, it must. I don't know how how did I not see it until now? And speaking of this, now we finally had proof. Remember, I keep telling everybody that Heritage keeps putting stuff in after I look at things. Literally, it's not there. That X-Men piece, and we're going to see that in a minute. I mean, I'm just saying it anyway. That was not there. That X-Men Amazing Adventures cover was not in the Heritage Wednesday set for the first 18 hours, guaranteed. Because I would have picked it. For God's sakes, it was the #1 selling item, from Heritage last week. $24,000. I mean, I would have picked that one in a heartbeat, and it wasn't there. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm going to have to ask some of my Heritage insiders and find out why it is that certain pieces don't get dropped at midnight every Wednesday. I don't get it, and they're not even there the next day. I mean, I look at when I do my Heritage picks, it's usually around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So it's still not there 12 hours after the fact. And nobody in the chat has an answer for that either.
Well, people.
We're going to find out. I want to see them be like, I don't believe you. And I'll be like, I know.
Watch.
Anyway, exactly. So let me close. I got a couple side windows open here. All right. So we could dive into the CAF update here, because we'll get to see that X-Men cover that I couldn't feature last week. Let's see here. We're going to talk about what was the week period here. It's the 3rd through the 9th of March. And let's see, art dealers. Art dealers did incredibly well, but we all know why that was. That was in large part due to Albert Moy. So $626,000 in sales last week. Albert had 314 of them. So he had half. Yeah. So even then, you take Albert out, it was an average week, but with Albert in there and that one big Jim Lee Magneto piece, he pushed everything out of into the stratosphere. But Berkey did 162, Felix did 70, almost 75, Panel Page did 48, Anthony did 12, and Comic-Con Art did almost 10. So we'll take a look at the top 6 sales from dealers last week.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. And so again, $626,000, half of that going to our man Albert. This is from Uncanny X-Men issue 269, page 30. Jim Lee, Scott Williams, $275,000. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, whoever got that is going to be happier than hell. I'm happy for him. Then what we got? Berkey sold this Daredevil 36 cover. It's got Gene Colan, Paul Reinman inks on it, $88,000. Then Glenn sold this one. It's from New Teen Titans issue 4, page 1. So pretty early in the run. $22,000 was the
Love
asking.
that.
I know. Got JLA all over it. And then Spirit cover here. This is to issue 13. Will Eisner, of course. $15,000 was the asking price from Berkey on that one. Then what we got? A Larry Lieber, a Mike Esposito, Amazing Spider-Man annual 5-page. Went for $11,500. And the last but not least, we have a Ryan Stegman cover. This is the cover to Uncanny X-Men issue 1. And it went for $10,000, sold by Felix on the 3rd of last week. So I think there's still pages, some X-Men pages out there still from Ryan. I don't know if it didn't look like a sellout. There's a lot of great art, but I think at least half of the book that dropped is still available. All right, what do we got next? We got the auctions. Auctions were, well, they were average. There was an extra, what was it? Some Zits, featured smaller auction that kind of added about $50,000 to the week. So $386,000 in sales for Heritage and eBay last week. And let's see the top 3 from each right here. All right, yeah, 386,031 is where we go here for the total between the two. I should take that Fukno off there, but we'll leave it on. All right, so eBay first, we got Ryan Otley Invincible 100 page. List price was $4,500 on this. It actually sold for $3,000. Then we have a Frank Cho, Liberty Meadows piece. This one was listed at $4,000 as it sold, but it really went for a best offer of $3,000 as well. And then finally, Mike Mignola, Chronicles of Corum, issue 3, page 23, went for $3,500. And that was an accurate price. And then here it is, right here. Look at that one. It's the Al Milgrom Amazing Adventures 8 cover, went for $24,000, and it was not there hours after the launch of that auction. I guarantee it. Then Don Buscema, George Klein, Avengers 59 page. This one's a cool page. I like this one a lot. $14,400 on that. Gosh, just classic. I'd love to own a Buscema page from this era. And that's just good. And then I had to put some black bars all over this one just to keep it in here. So this was a Serpieri Druna page, went for $8,400. But you get the idea. It's exactly why we don't show a lot of Serpieri here on the channel.
Yeah.
But I forget what the 4th item was, but it just wasn't as good. I was like, I'll send this to Ashton blacked out, and we'll all, get what we get out of that. Bondage is sweet, says the number 1 Marvel fan. Hey, whatever floats your boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's there was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot to see. Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, he's got it figured out.
Redacted.
Black box art, my favorite, says Michael. Thank you, Michael. All right, so remember, everybody, Fukno is the hashtag tonight if you want to get in for the opportunity to win the giveaway, the T-shirt from Jerry Bourne. Second one out there that we've had done. We have 19 people in the giveaway. After we finish Chris's picks, we will draw the winner. So get them in, or forever hold your piece. What do we got? Yeah, that's exactly. We're like an old OnlyFans, not comic art fans. Only ComicArtFans.com.
There you go.
Yeah, we do. We have a $29.99 monthly.
that has meme legs.
It does. It really does. I can
Only
think of
Comic Art Fans. Yeah.
I got it. Well, yeah, we can do an only.comicartfans.com. We can just throw that subdomain in there. That would work.
Yeah.
OCAF. M Studios Comics. Got to put the hashtag in front of it, though. That's how it gets you entered. So hashtag Fukno, just like it's written right down there. So that'll get you in there. So, all right. So we ready to talk picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, good. let me and I have to say I duplicated some of your picks, so I ended up picking 2 extra pieces
Oh,
by
sorry. Okay.
collectors whose works we didn't have, so I could guarantee us 20 different collectors with artworks. Let's see here. Which tab is it? It is this one. All right. Let's shift a couple things around there. There you go. M Studios got in there. So we got 27 entries right now. After 10 pieces of art we talked about here, we're going to draw that winner. Okay, now who is the owner of this one? Because I did not look. Oh, I Heart Comic Art. That's an interesting name for this gentleman or Mrs. I have no idea. We got a P. Craig Russell artwork.
Yeah, the I know I featured a page from this story before, but the title page coming up, the use of type here, I absolutely love. The I think the font choice itself is a very cool choice, but then to lay it across the image like that is really effective, especially considering how the image is laid out. So great composition. It's got all the noodly fine stuff we love from P. Craig Russell, but it's also got some like thicker, more serious blacks happening. That the balloon across the bottom, I think, like contradicting the logo at the top, is a nice move too. So this was a beautiful, beautiful book. If you can lay your hands on this short run from Legends of the Dark Knight, I recommend looking at it just for the art alone. If you're a Poison Ivy fan, even better. But just a gorgeous story all over.
Yeah, no, this is great. Good night, Bob. Bob's off for the day. I love the lettering on this thing too.
Yeah.
It's so it makes me want to go read the book because I can only imagine how interesting the rest of the page layouts must have been.
They're beautiful.
If this is how you kind of segue into it as a title page. Yeah, that is slick. Now, was the page of art from this that we picked before, was it in the same collector's calf, or is this
that I don't know. I'm bad about looking at who has what.
Okay. Well, this is beautiful. I mean, I love the inking on it. I think it's the layout's fantastic. Everything we'd expect from a nice P. Craig Russell artwork.
And it's a really, it's a violent, like it's a horrific image in a way, but so beautifully done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how he's taking the lines off the page like that. That's to get it off the bleed. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Lost art.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, let's see here. Next up, this was a nice piece of art. Now, how did I not get the like on here? So this is in Mr. Eric De Los Santos's calf gallery, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
I mean, high contrast. Obviously, which is a big thing for me. Positive negative space is a huge thing in any like really effective composition in my mind. Moon Knight clearly, lends himself to that, right? Like that's how a lot of people I feel like want to treat the character, and it makes a lot of sense. You've got a white costume character that only tends to operate at night, so it just works itself out. But so not only did Garcia do some really effective like cutout type work, but he also, like, unlike a lot of this type of artwork that you see, he did dial in some things too, though. Like he went after some of the detail on the torso on the character. There's some, stuff on the surface of the moon behind him to add a little visual interest, because this could easily get too stark, right? And then it becomes almost like uninteresting. It just becomes kind of like a slap you in the face. Like, and on some level, you start to feel like you're looking at a design or a puzzle almost versus an illustration. And he, I think, effectively, like I said, dials in those little areas of focus to add something more than just a great design.
Yeah, and I like it for all the same reasons. I mean, I like that he's playing around with the negative space to kind of outline the trees and the graveyard and all of that. But I love the fact that he put just enough details on the character to not leave it that way, because it just wouldn't have had the same impact. You might have looked at it and said, oh, that's kind of cool. But we've seen stuff like that before. Right. He's really playing with both, putting in enough details to make it interesting and keeping that as a component. And I like that the trees were, were they there to begin with? They're painted on over the black as almost as an afterthought, where Moon Knight clearly is the board. as
Yeah.
is his cape and everything. So he might have got to a point where it didn't feel quite right, and adding in the trees really did change it. It gave it a different graphic element.
Yeah.
Like the tombstones are the paper too. So
Yeah.
he just came in and added in some stuff, and I think it's fantastic. I really
Yeah.
like the piece a
It
lot.
really, to your point, it brings the figure to the forward, like adding the a little amount of detail that he did. But it
Mhm.
also, the stuff that's unimportant, that's really just the negative space work. But unimportant in the grand scheme of things, but like very effective to, add depth to the composition.
Yeah, and it's a very haunting image of Moon Knight with the way the cowl is too. I like that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's great. It really is great. So congrats to Eric on that one. That one's a good pickup. Eric, I picked a piece by Eric as well, and I can't remember which one it is. It was not the Gene Hackman obit though.
Yeah.
Marcus, sorry to let you down on that one. All right, Aparo, Brave and the Bold, a title page.
Yep. So nostalgia pick. I had this comic. This was a comic that my uncles had kind of cast off and was sitting at my great grandma's house. And I remember reading a bunch of times. They really liked Brave and the Bold for some reason. So they must have been Batman fans, but also like wanted to learn more about the DCU. So that was a good vehicle for me to like do the same thing basically. So I've said before, I love Aparo's ability to do different expressions for Batman. So it helps that, that's on here as well. But I'm a sucker for Green Lantern. Aparo's a great artist, and this is a really nostalgic period for me.
Yeah, it was funny. I didn't really notice Batman's cape just filling that space.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a very, very cool page too. But yeah, I mean, when I remember reading through, like my uncle's comics and everything, they were more DC collectors as well, and so yeah, I this is like where I got started reading comics before I got into buying them
Awesome.
myself.
Well, we're out here, Bill. There's DC fans.
I can't remember. I didn't say I was a fan. I just read a lot because that's what they had. I'll have to ask my uncle about
I'm
it.
sticking up for your uncle, is what I'm doing.
And it is the uncle who prints the 3D best
There you
of
go.
trophies too. He's still around doing fun stuff. Even he's long retired. I think he retired. He's like, is he 70 yet? I don't know if he's 70, but he's getting up there. He's got to be. But he don't watch my shows. So where are we going to from here? Asrar. Now this is in Jason Wood's calf gallery. That's really nice.
So I'm guilty of, at first, I honestly thought this was Matteo Scalera.
Okay. Yeah.
And you see it, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I mean, the inks aren't that lush maybe, but it's an interior page. And, I thought, so I think I picked this more than anything because this feels like a, little growth for Azrar. So I think, he's trying some new things. I think it was really effective here. Domino is a great character if you're going to try and stretch those kind of tonal chops, I think, because, she's pretty stark, obviously a black and white character ultimately. So I just think he did a great job with these washes, and I was happy to see him stretching a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, there's a lot of work that went into all of these action lines too. I mean, the layers of the wash just to make it. I don't know if that would hold up in print or not, but it's cool seeing it, in the black and white like this because it is really, there's a lot of detail going on in there. They're a very good job on this piece.
Yeah,
I love the bullet hole, cash floating around and everything. This is nice.
Yeah.
I wonder do you think it's the same tonal level in person, or is this a little like grayed out? Do you think these are like the black?
I think it's probably a little washed out from the scan, but hard to say.
Yeah. Well, that is a good one. And Jason Wood has a very good calf gallery for those of you who have not visited it in a while. I didn't throw the link. I always used to do this way back in the old days, but in the chat here, I'll throw the link to the calf update kind of summary that has the links to all of the artworks that you see here. It is in the show description as well, but now you can hit it that way too. See, now I've jumped too far ahead, didn't I? Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't forget Travis.
No, we cannot. I mean, come on. Travis is he's going to Lake Como, I think, for the first time So here we have a great color piece here.
Yeah, I think what he's doing with color is so interesting because it's very singular. I don't see anyone else working in this, I guess, in this way, but whatever he's doing, I'm sure it's mixed media. I can't really identify like what he's using or how he's using it necessarily, but there's nothing else that's being put out that really looks like what he's putting out. And that applies to kind of his cover work and, all that kind of stuff. It's translating here, obviously, because he's using a lot of the same techniques, but, he puts he's doing a lot of, characters that you don't associate with him necessarily, because he did spend the bulk of his time in, at Wildstorm when he was doing regular comics work. So it's cool to see him, be able to take on Dr. Doom for one thing, but I think more than anything, I really love the weird stuff that he did with his cloak. How it's kind of feathery at the edges. It looks like maybe he's been through some shit. And I think the green like bleed that he put around the outside of it kind of accentuates that. So I don't know, there's just so much fun stuff to look at on this.
Yeah, no, I agree. The gold highlights but yeah, I was getting drawn to that, and just the the green halo around the cloak too. I mean, it's well done. Yeah, if you're a Doom collector and this is what you commissioned Travis to do, you would be freaking happy. I mean,
I would think so.
That is so nice. I wish there were, we can't click on it, or I would zoom in. I want to see the detail in the mask. Yeah, I really do.
That's what it's all about with Doom.
Exactly. It's killing me that I can't zoom in. But Jerry McDade, a 13-year CAF member. He's got a Twitter account. It's probably X now, I think. And his eBay ID is Reed Freak. All right. Well, I'm going to check out his CAF gallery because I don't feel like I've ever been in it before, but we shall see. Next up, we got a Cursed Pirate Girl page. And this is, Doug Pfluger. Well, congrats to Doug.
Yeah. These are a slam dunk when they pop up,
Mm-hmm.
I think just from, I'm no interest in the source material necessarily. I own some of this. I've never read it. It's not about reading for me. It's about pouring over technique. And he's got technique in spades. So it's not even necessarily stylistically what I go for, but the craft is just absolutely next level on everything that he puts out. So you just have to be able to, even if it's not up your alley, you have to be able to appreciate somebody with this kind of skill.
Yeah, I just can't imagine the amount of time he'd have to put into these pages. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
The designs and even if you take the actual drawing piece out of it, like there's so much thought that has to go into this.
Right. I mean, the way he's kind of lighting, the figures, and I mean, gosh.
Yeah.
He has to, like you said, not just thought. I mean, forethought. He has,
right.
He has to exactly know what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. And there's so many different, eking techniques going on in here.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I hate to say it, I have actually never seen, well, I can't say I've never seen a piece quite like this. There was a collector who I know, I was at his house, and he had a piece on the wall. It was kind of pirate themed, but I don't think it was from Cursed Pirate Girl. But so I have seen a piece in person, but I'd love, like this page here, I'd love to see in person. I mean, you could just pour over it for an hour and you'd probably still have things you'd be discovering in it. I think Chris can read, Marcus. And Robert says they're on 9x12 paper. I guess that would be the only thing that would save him to be able to go faster. I mean,
I was actually gonna add that when you throw in how small these pieces are, it makes this absolutely almost unfathomable. Yeah,
that's nuts. Is there like a video documentary out there of him ever working? I mean, I think I'd like to see it.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. It was not the Pirates of Penzance. All right, moving right along. What do we got here? Jeff Singh, and I think I picked something from Jeff Singh too, but that's why I got those 2 extra picks in there. But a JLA Dick Dillon cover with Jack Abel inks.
Yeah, this is.
Click on
I can't call this nostalgia because I wasn't reading Justice League actively at this time, but I went through a period in my comic collecting where I went and got nice copies of every issue of Justice League 1 through 150, including Brave and the Bold 28, 29, and 30. Like I had the whole shooting match. And so from that perspective, this pick makes a lot of sense. But if I'm being completely honest, I love seeing Red Tornado get thrashed, and he's getting thrashed on the cover in this issue. So it wasn't a really good issue of Justice League of America with Red Tornado in it if he didn't get absolutely dismantled. So that's happening on this cover. So that was a big reason for me to pick it. It's a super, it's a super potent image. Like you want to find out what happens to, poor Reddy there, but yeah, more than anything, it's just a really fun cover.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is a good one. Definitely a good one. And Tom, I hate to say I have forgotten to post that OX video on YouTube. I will get it posted this weekend, I promise. It will be, how about I do it? I'll do it on Saturday. So I sorry for not getting it up there beforehand. I've been distracted a little bit.
You're making yourself a hell of a list for this weekend, Bill. You
I
better
know,
start
I
taking
know.
notes.
But whenever I see a name and it reminds me, that's how I get reminded. Oh, I've been meaning to do that. But yeah, there we go. That's posting videos isn't hard. It's just you got to remember to do it. All right, I will get it done. Next up, what do we got? Oh, Paul Pope. Can't go wrong with Paul Pope. This is in Kevin Koch's Calf Gallery. And what is it though? Paul Pope, Electric Ant #3. And I can't click this one either. Darn it.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of bummed out about that myself when I picked it, but it's a Philip K. Dick adaptation. So I don't know what it is about Paul Pope and Philip K. Dick that go so well together, but they do. You're looking at it here. I absolutely adore like the level of detail that he put into the character. So the coat, the textures, like all that kind of stuff. The weird folded up, floating car in the background is almost a bonus. Like it's a great feature element in this image, but it's all about that central character in my mind. The background is really stark. It has a hardcore European comics feel about it, which I really like. It almost has the background, especially, or if you can call it a background, has a Mobius feel to it for sure. So yeah, it just has a lot of elements that I love.
Yeah, no, I would have picked this one if you didn't pick it. So Marcus, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a free OAX ticket.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, Marcus, I'll buy your ticket. You just gotta get there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not for everyone, but it is for you. And that gentleman in Chicago that I shipped.
Yes, too.
That broke his statue. But no, it's a great pick. And you're right. I mean, there's just something about the simplicity of the composition and everything that just makes it work. I mean, I don't really like the way it was colored or anything, but
No.
as a work of art, and this, I imagine this is oversized too. I think this is just so beautiful. Yeah, this is great. So congrats to Kevin for that pickup. And then Serpieri, we can show without black boxes.
I didn't want to ruin it when you said that earlier. I was like, oh, there's a Serpieri coming up. Yeah. So honestly, all this, all the stuff that I feel like we maybe don't remember about Serpieri is kind of on display here. Like he became known for doing a thing, right? And this doesn't feature that thing. And so I think that's kind of what makes it special, makes it stand out a little bit. But I mean, the draftsmanship, the textures that he gets here, the characterizations of the individual cowboys on the page, the facial expressions are so good. You don't even need to be able to read this, to really appreciate it as a piece of art. But more than anything, I picked this because I finally got to pick Serpieri, and we can show it without a bunch of black boxes over it.
Exactly. No, and it is a small scan, but you know how amazing this piece is. Like you just said, the facial features. I mean, they're all distinct.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
People don't bother to draw like this, right?
No.
Like that's the long and the short of it. Like this is all so incredibly dialed in.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's a really great page. trying to think where you can buy Serpyeri art. Isn't there? There's one of the European art dealers, Veneer. I can't remember who it is. I go check it out. I don't check the European sites out as often as I should, but
Joe, it does have horse haunches and spades.
it
That's
does, and they are well drawn. They're well rendered.
Yeah.
And Carl, you're absolutely right. If I was going to answer Marcus directly, I would say no, Marcus.
I told him his ticket will be at will call.
Exactly. That's the only place it'll be. And Ruben can buy his own ticket if he wants to come. He's welcome to. I mean, I actually extended the invitation to him in year one. He didn't reply. What can I do? But there you go. So this is a beautiful piece. And again, whose calf gallery is it? Jose E. Martinez. Cool. 12-year vet. Long-time member of CAF. And again, it's a name I'm not familiar with. So I'll have to check him out later. I think we only got a couple pieces left here before we do the giveaway, everybody. You got to put hashtag Fukno in the chat. We have 80 people watching. There are only 27 people entered into this giveaway. So come on. The time is almost up. All right. This is in Myron Tay's calf gallery. We have a Coipel X-Men Return of Magic cover. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. The lighting effects in this are, obviously off the charts good. He's got the teleportation circle under her, the soul sword. Like, you've got two light sources. He's using them both, which is incredibly difficult to do, but not for somebody like Olivier. So that's, good for him. He chooses to go basically incredibly minimalist with the background, which I think is a great call here because it's all about magic. When you do an incredibly effective cover that's just got a single character on it, I think that's a real credit to the artist because it's all about how are you positioning them? What else are you doing around them? Like all those kinds of things that you don't necessarily have to think about when you look at it, but you have to think about it when you draw it. You have to think about it when you design it. And he's done that here. This is quote unquote, just an image of magic, right? But like what he chose to have her doing, the pose is interesting. Like I said, the lighting is super interesting. And, he does a great faithful rendition of a character that so many people love, but it's not the kind of cheesecakey stuff that I feel like we see so much with this character.
No, I agree. And the lighting is amazing. Just the shadow in her hair here, the silhouette there. I think it's fantastic. And you're right. Having single characters are tough, right? I mean, you're right. You're spot on. I think this is fantastic. Really, really well done. Darn.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Myron, wow, Myron's been on the site for almost 21 years. A collector in Singapore. Wow. All right. So, that was the last pick, as a matter of fact. Okay, because we're going over to mine next. So
went out with a bang.
Yes, you did. All right. So we will be doing the giveaway right now, everybody. So I'm gonna have to stop this screen and flip over to the other screen here. So again, you got to put a hashtag Fukno into the chat and hit enter to be entered to win in this giveaway for the t-shirt. So let me share the right screen here and we'll draw this sucker. Where are you? Right over here.
I like the impromptu giveaway, Bill.
I got a lot of stuff that I've been setting aside around here. Kazra dropped them off the other day and said you should figure something out, give them away. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. But then I've got we gave out a couple of the Hulk and Thing hands that we had extra, the oversized ones. I still got to get you yours and your T-shirt, which is still sitting over here. I've actually got a few other things too. So I'll be sending you a care package. But
did you ever add that shirt to the store?
I don't know if I got the original from Alex on that one.
I wanna buy a couple of those for friends and family. It's not every day you get to be on a t-shirt. Right.
Let me email Alex about that.
Plus, then I can be like a pro wrestler. You know how pro wrestlers always come out and they have got their own T-shirt on. It's got their face on it. I've always
Exactly.
wanted that for myself.
All right. Well, if I didn't get it, I will make sure I get it. And that's another thing for me to do this weekend.
All right.
All right. Well, we got 36 people entered into the giveaway here, Fukno. And if you don't do it now, you're out. But again, there's 93 people watching the show. And we had 36 people entered. All right. I'm going to press the button. We'll see who's going to get this. If it's Snork, it's rigged.
Rig it.
Right. Mr. Orange 00.
Better than Mr. Pink, Mr. Orange. Good selection.
All right, Mr. Orange. Congratulations on winning the Funko Fuckno OA Expo 2025.
I just got a text from Jason D'Ambrosio. Can you bring this up?
I will.
There's our boys.
Tyler T.
There's our boys. They're at a bar. What do you know?
Yeah, I think I'm in the chat group that they're in. I think they both got to New Haven tonight, so they're
they better
ready to
be
go.
eating pizza. They better be eating pizza.
Pizza and beer. Well, Mr. Orange, please. I assume you're still in the chat. You can shoot me an email, bill@comicartfans.com. And when you do, send me your mailing address. I will get that out to you by Monday. Promise. So thank you for watching and winning. No zingers there, says #1 Marvel fan. I didn't. Yeah, there you go. They're in the chat. All right, let me close this window and get back to our picks for this evening. Hide that one. Yeah. Stop that. Well, you knew.
I'm curious to see what you picked. I struggled a little bit.
I went around and around a little bit. It did take longer than normal, but I think I did all right. Let's see here. Pick that. Share that. All right. Now we can get the old screen back in there. All right. So I went with this is in Felix's Calf Gallery. There's so many of these great Preacher pieces out there, but like this one is just so busy, and that's kind of why I like it. I mean, I've always liked his Fabry's work is just it's consistent, it's nice, it's perfect. I just think I look at his coat, I look at the gun barrels, I just feel like everything feels so visceral. That and his work in general feels very visceral. I just think this is great, and more so because it's just packed with characters, and
it's
a
really
little bit unlike
really rendered.
Exactly. Felix crushing it, says Greg Parker. That's true. And NSN, a few things about Glenn's Glenn's covers, and you're right. I mean, I could stare at this cover for a long time, and I only read a little bit of Preacher, never watched the TV show or anything like that, but Glenn's covers were just so darn striking, and this one is just great with so many figures in it. Oh man, it's great. Well,
he sold a lot of those books.
Oh,
Glenn Fabry sold a lot of those books because those books absolutely didn't look like anything else that was on the shelf at the time. Right.
Well, Felix, he's got good taste. He always gets the good stuff, and this is a really, really nice one. All right. So where am I going to from there? Oh, yeah, Frank Miller, Klaus Janson. It was hard to not pick this one. I like the layout a lot in it, and I love there's just clearly it's all horizontal panels, but then the art inside of them are just so horizontal, right? You get the horizontal landscape in the first panel, the building in the second panel, the dojo interior shot, in the third panel, the battles, it's just awesome, and then you get that nice close up, in the final panel. I just love it. I mean, this is like I think everything about Miller during this period that we loved, as far as like the fight scenes, the minimalist kind of style with a lot of stuff, and then again, I mean, I actually was trying not to include it because but then I thought, all right, I'm got to go for it because you didn't pick it, so. Oh, and I got to take the banner off too. Here we go.
Kind of a important Kingpin moment too. I mean, storyline wise, because Kingpin's Kingpin, right? Oh, he's a big fat guy in a white suit. But then Miller absolutely went out of his way to make Kingpin credible,
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was reading it, I feel like I missed certain because I wasn't a big Spidey reader, and so
Yeah.
Kingpin was pretty foreign to me when I was reading the book on the newsstand. And when he first came into it, I didn't feel like he was really a tough bad guy, right? And then you
Yep.
really he could beat the crap out of out of a bunch of ninjas or whatever. Here,
Yeah.
it changed my view of the character. But when he,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. As do we all, Wesley. Definitely during this period. So then this was the other piece by Eric that I picked. I mean, Wayshak stuff just keeps impressing. And obviously, this is kind of an image we've seen of Spidey often, with the big hand climbing up the building, but as only Wayshak can do it, And so I just thought this was nice. I know Eric really likes John's work a lot, as do many of us, but again, just cool image, and I love the kind of faded background. I mean, I've seen this image done so many different ways, but
Right.
John gets a different take on it. I mean, Spidey feels like he has volume, and it's really because of the way John handles the highlights, and I mean that hand looks like a octopus practically. It's like it's got depth. It just doesn't feel right. But boy, John just has a way of drawing characters. I think I love this thing.
Yeah, and your point about the chroma too, like the fact that Spidey and the building that he is on are really the chroma's pumped up, and so it gives you that like instant automatic focus. Whereas he really pushes everything back, like everything's desaturated in the background, and so it feels background.
Exactly. And like number one Marvel fan says, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay. John's just amazing. He is the only, well, and I'm sure there are other artists that are out there, but yeah, he's like, I won't take money if you pick it up, and if you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. I mean, yeah, that's a risk. But that's how John approaches things, and he was, one of the most sought after artists at OAX, really the last 2 years. But as far as pre OAX stuff goes, I think the only two artists that got more pre-OAX inquiries were Dennis Cowan and Bob Layton. But John was right. He was an easy third, that's for sure. And that's even over our beloved Mannix, who would have been fourth if I had to count. All right. Then this was my Jeff Singh pick. So these are the two picks from people that you also had art picks from. But to get it, Mobius in here. Let's see. I mean, it's from Incal. I just love the line work in it. I mean, and it's weird. It's kind of a little different from like your reference about his work, being a little bit more stark. I love all the line work in the background here. It just makes the page vibrant, ties everything together. They're not all going in the same direction, but it just adds to the just this overall volume of it gives the page, I don't know, without having to have any heavy darks in it whatsoever. It gives it a different weight. So I like it. I love even just the way he even renders his figure. It almost looks like it's almost too simple, but it works so well. And then all the lettering,
it's like good cartooning, right? Like the lady's face in that fourth panel is just great cartooning. And I think I probably the thing I like the most about this piece is it's oddly monotonous. And the line weights are the line weights, and that's something that he's obviously known for as well. But how open it is, and to your point, like really, it's all the lines that are happening in the background that make this so arresting.
Definitely, and it would look totally different without the lettering in there. I think that it really helps out a lot. The balance, how he's handled, where he's put the letter boxes, the fact that they're not bubbles, they're squares. It plays so well off of the the angling, the radiuses that he's drawing all over the page. So it's fantastic. Next up, this was in Sean Clancy's calf gallery. Al Milgram, Jim Mooney. I just thought this was a great page. 4 panels. I love the half splash at the top with Spidey and Black Cat, and then I just thought the 3 panels at the bottom. It's a straight city scene, just Spidey swinging away, and just classic comic storytelling for me from all eras. I mean, but this is the kind of stuff that, you know, when I read as a kid, it made me love comic books because it was just interesting storytelling. What was I was reading something on Facebook where somebody was trying to lobby that, you know, artists are should be considered. I don't think they didn't use the word writers, but you know, storytellers for
They're like
storyteller.
they're like directors, really.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
it's like the director and the DP
Hmm.
together, if you're talking about it like in movie terms. And like you really see that on this page because of the pacing. So like to your point, those 3 panels at the bottom, right? It's the same scene, but
Hmm.
you're seeing the characters progress through the scene. And so you're getting those like those beats, those moments in time. And like it makes the movement make sense. It makes like the whole, you know, it makes the whole thing make sense because you've got these static elements, but then you've got the character moving through it, and that like pulls you through the story.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, Greg Parker says it's an incredible piece, but bottom left panel is a Spidey. I mean, you're right. There is a lot to like about this page. They're
Yeah, and
really
I'm not a Milgram fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that's a great page.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Sean Clancy, he knows a good piece of art when he sees it. And I just clicked that hard and it reminded me one of the other updates that are in the app. Thanks to Kazard for he always said he didn't like that it worked this way, and I totally agreed with him. Was that sometimes when you click the heart icon, what we were doing was a round trip to the server and back before we would change the color. So you know, most of the time it would happen in a half a second, right? It was pretty seamless. But sometimes you could click it and then you'd be like, did I miss it because it didn't change color right away? So you clicked it again, and then you're like, I got to click on the negative number, so you click it a third time, and then it might change. Or sometimes you can get up to 5, right? And so he had said, "Isn't there a way we could just make it like turn red when you do it?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm sure we're not going to check that it actually worked, but yeah, we'll turn it red the moment you click it." And Andy was like, "Yeah, I can do it, and I can change the number." So now it's like it's seamless. The only way it doesn't turn red is if you do miss it. So, all right, so there you go, great piece, Sean Clancy, you the man. Then this one, Vincent Mali, I guess. I mean, there's about 12 pieces by them on CAF. European artist, of course. I have no idea this was some thief book, but I just love the atmosphere in it. I love the dark alleyway, the sun saturated, you know, street behind him. I love, again, it's back to I love the storytelling in this piece. You know, you know, I had to read that it was about a thief, but either way, it just made me feel differently about the artwork. I really like it a lot. I love the technique in it, and
huge depth.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There was that piece a couple weeks ago, but I think it was maybe I don't remember if it was an art pick or if it was a art for sale pick, but I think it was an art pick where it had like a tree. Maybe it was it a Maxi Dallo transformer image or something like that? I remember there was just this dark image of a tree that's almost did the same thing, came down from the left and came across the front, and then the characters were sitting in the light behind it, and it just the dark just gave that a sense of depth that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. You know, the image would have been great without it, but it added so much complexity to it. And here he's kind of doing the same thing, but yeah, I thought this was great, and that's why I made this image the show graphic, because it's not an artist we've ever featured before, and I love the technique.
Absolutely. No, I mean it really, like, it sings, and like the textures that he's got on the cobblestones and on the side of that building are just absolutely perfectly done. Like the tone that he applies, like the fact that like you're basically it's black, right? It's black in the front, and then you're led toward the light, and the character like basically splitting the difference.
Right. There's more symbology in here than I even thought. You're right. This is great. And Carl's right. It was Carl's OAX commission from Maxi Dallo that I was talking about. But yeah, I mean, again, the more I look at this, the more I'm intrigued. I feel like I should buy this book, you know, just to look at the artwork in it. And I I think maybe I should. I'm going to make a note of this so I can see if I can find it. I think it's fantastic.
Some terrific cartooning there in the background too.
Mm-hmm. All right, I didn't put my like on it. There we go. And wait, it says welcome to my gallery. YQ. All right, YQ, 6-year plus member of CAF. And there you go. There's the book right there. Oh, that's right. I read that they saw this artwork hanging up at Gallery Martel. Is that right?
Okay.
Am I right? Is it yeah, I think that. Yeah, not Gallery Martel. I'm Daniel Megan. I'm sorry. Daniel Megan Gallery, because we import their stuff. So it makes me think that there might be some artwork that I could search on CAF to find more about them and see what's available. Anyway,
it wouldn't be this though.
No, it would not be this one. But yeah, there was a picture of it hanging.
Special.
Yeah, from the exhibition. I mean, there it is right there.
Look at how it looks on the wall.
Yeah.
Although he does look like he likes his bottom heavy compositions.
Yeah, you're right. Look at that.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, if it works.
That could be, so when they showed the published piece, I mean, that could be to allow for the title element, but I think that's kind of a fun thing, and like a lot of, something that a lot of people don't understand about designing for publication is that, you come into this knowing that they're going to slap a logo on it somewhere, and you have to come up with a way for it to, showcase the logo while at the same time, like hopefully not taking away too much from your art.
Mm-hmm. I'm not highlighting those couple comments in the chat. But I'm
going the area though.
That's right. That is right. They were fat bottomed as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to check out what Megan's got. I'm kind of curious now. But either way, Lupin. I'm gonna look into it. It's cool, and I have no idea NSN about that, but we'll have to see. But anyway, so next up, Joe Kubert. This was a title page. 4 Faces of Sergeant Rock. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of a funky layout. I just love the more than the 4 panel image here. I just love the header of it. I thought the header
yeah.
The lettering is done on the board. It looks like the word balloon, the character, kind of giving you the lead into the story. It's like an EC book almost, but
yeah.
But Kubert War Story. I just thought this was cool. So
I like the Rock looking kind of like at the images, like the bust image in the center. Like it's almost like you're seeing like what through his eyes, so to speak. And that's an excellent Basset Hound there.
It definitely is. And Andy and Adam had just the best person to learn from. And Joe. I mean, my God, you look at this and I can't imagine growing up with a father creating work like this and then, inspiring you to be artists too. But I just think this is fantastic.
Yeah. Your family business is comics. Like that's pretty exceptional.
All right. We were looking at P. Craig Russell earlier. This is in Phil Hester's CAF gallery, and it's Elric page. I just like, the little flying dragons. I love the way he's just playing around with shapes in this first panel and how it kind of carries through pretty much most throughout. And then I just love this last panel.
Yeah.
Tight on the dragon. I love the costume, the way it's drawn, the gauntlets, all that stuff. I just think it's Russell knows what he's doing when he's drawing some fantasy artwork. But this is a great page with very minimal character feel on it. But gosh, yeah, it's cool. And I guess is it like a chapter page? I don't know if that 5 is. Yeah.
He had such a way with Elric where it was like he made Elric look really feminine, but at the same time, like you knew he's an absolute badass.
Right. Gosh, yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah, I like this page a lot. And Phil Hester, again, one of the most, I think as far as artists who collect, I mean, is there anybody who has
Jimmy? Maybe.
Okay, you're right. All right,
but I'm not sure that anybody has better taste.
That's true. I mean, exactly. I mean, but then we could say, but Jimmy maybe, because Jimmy's got a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just love that. Phil's definitely somebody we'd like to get to OAX because he'd appreciate it on a totally different level too, and he's on my list of people to invite to do a collector interview for
Yeah,
a show. So
please
I'm gonna get that. Remind myself I need to because
do
I've
it
got a
this
few
weekend.
do it this weekend. Yeah, I will. I've got a few. I've got like two. Maybe I've got 3 weekends, maybe or 3 Tuesdays in April that are open. So Phil would be great to get for next month. All right, so 4 more pieces to go here. I did pick the Simon Miller's piece here that he got from Astonishing X-Men #1, just because I've been wanting to get a Cassaday interior page back in my collection, and I just thought this is from issue 1. Great to you see the way John was going to draw the characters, and I mean, and he was so consistent and so strong. I
Yeah,
mean, the Beast was John's Beast. Psyche is the way he'd want to draw him. Hell, Wolverine. I
yeah,
mean, all these characters, John made him his, and and just from the first issue on, it felt so powerful, and
yeah.
I enjoyed the stories a lot too. But I really, really, really loved John's artwork in here, and so
He had
uh, great.
such a way with the female characters too. Like
Yeah,
White Queen always looked like a snot. Kitty always looked like she was like upset about like, oh, I'm the young like firebrand, like I'm upset about this, that, or the other thing. Like the characterizations that he portrays are like jumping off the page, and it's not just through the dialogue, right? Like
yeah.
he's making them emote. And to your point, they're so consistent.
Exactly. Yeah, this is beautiful. Really, really nice. And I thought of saying Scott Williams' names, Tim and Rich. The only reason I didn't know is I was sort of thinking about the wealth, the breadth of their collections. I mean, I think when you go to Jimmy's Calf Gallery or you go to
It's a lot.
there's like 2,000 plus pages in their collections, and
Mhm.
I know Scott has an amazing collection. I mean, to die for. And he's another guy who would appreciate OAX on a totally different level. But when I go to Scott's, I mean, Scott probably has a lot more art than we know, but I mean, he doesn't
But
show
it's
it
blue chips.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And and he may have a couple thousand pieces, but yeah, he shows the best of the best in his stuff.
Yeah.
Rich Danny says Jimmy is still tops. Hey, I mean, it's art is subjective, Rich. But anyways, this is a
Well,
great
so
piece.
one thing I will say, and not to drive the controversy, but Phil's descriptions are very good. He talks about what he likes about what he likes about
Yep.
the artists. Like,
Mhm.
he frequently negatively compares his own art to theirs, which I think is fun. But Jimmy, maybe it's a question of volume, but Jimmy is typically like just posting pieces, and I would dearly love to know what he thinks about them. But so you get a little bit at with Phil.
That's true. I think the only way Jimmy will have time for that is we get him on the show again to do a collector interview. And
He
we could
loves
do
to
something like
talk.
yeah, I mean, that would be a fun show, honestly, would be, rather than like 20 pieces, like a regular collector interview, I go, Jimmy, pick 40 pieces you want to talk about, and we won't even interview. We're just going to dive in and talk about art.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to talk to Jimmy about that. That would be a fun show, right? We don't
Yeah,
need to
for
talk
sure.
to Jimmy about his career, and we've already done that before. We
Yeah.
just dive in and talk about art that he's got in his collection. Jimmy's 50.
And technique.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I got a list of emails to do now this weekend. But congrats to Simon on this piece. I mean, I'm definitely jealous getting something that early. Then DK Ruan. This is whose calf gallery are we in here? Oh, Simon K. We go from Simon N to Simon K. And this is from Vengeance of the Moon Knight, a variant cover. I just like the graphic quality of it. I think it's it's a striking kind of shape to the moon, and then you throw on the Moon Knight and a dark costume that I'm not familiar with, and then a skull of a bird, and you got me.
Yeah, and the Khonshu skull there at the bottom.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So DK is one of those guys where you swear it's digital and it's not, and I think that's a real testament to his control. And you definitely see it here.
Khonshu. Yes, exactly. But no, I like this piece a great deal, and yeah. Let me get I gotta prove it by hitting the like button. There we go. So nice piece of again, the ink wash, it's strong.
Yeah.
All right, and then my throw-in pieces, they're not bad throw-ins either. These are the ones I went back to pick when I realized that we had the duplicates between Chris and I.
It's your show, baby.
Yeah, so we got Duke, Tom Riley. I have no idea, but I like the composition on this page.
It's the current G.I. Joe, Energon Universe G.I. Joe book.
Aha. All right. Well, honestly, that first panel was what caught me. I was like, I just love the angle on the piece, and I just thought it was well done. And yeah, the more I like it a lot. There's a reason I kept coming back to it. Couldn't
Riley
leave it out.
is really growing. I mean,
Yeah.
he's getting better and better and better at like leaps and bounds. It's like he's hockey sticking.
There you go. Greg Parker says first panel sold me too. Yeah. No, this is awesome. There you go.
Baroness is a good guy though, and I just can't get behind Baroness as a good guy.
I understand. One more here. I threw this one in because I didn't pick any true illustration art pieces this time. So Juan Mego is the collector. Manuel San Julian, of course, is the artist. Great composition, and I'm not sure what the size is on this. Did it say? No, just oil on canvas. So it is a vampire. What is it? Vampirus Carmilla. Don't know the book, but again, like the artwork a lot. Has it's that muddy color approach, and then you use some bright colors to highlight things. You get the splash of yellow in there that Sarah Jane talks about, and you end up with a beautiful cover.
Anytime I see something like this, I think anytime you see that muddy, deep, bloody red, I think oh, they're going for Caravaggio or something, and it does. Sure. It's not. It's there. It's there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I skip over a lot of San Julian pieces because they're always kind of, they're consistent, right? And a lot of times, and I don't know the title here, but I just thought that I did keep coming back to the image. Every time I saw the thumbnail, I was like, that's a really nice, composition. It's not what I expect. I know it's San Julian. And then, so there you go. We get to share off this. And I don't recall ever picking anything from Juan's calf gallery before. So maybe I should actually, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to add them to my watch calf galleries.
Hey,
there we go. He's got some topless stuff going on in there too. All right. Well, better more to see. All right. But yeah, no, I thanks to the app, I do find myself watching a lot more calf galleries. It is kind of fun discovering.
Yeah, you commented on a piece of mine recently.
I did.
I shit down both legs.
I don't do that often. I did it from the app too. I forget what I was doing, and I came across it, and I'm like, I got this. But yeah, have you noticed? Jason D'Ambrosio was always the 1203 guy, right?
Yep.
Well, Derek Crab has taken over. He is the 1204 guy.
Get him off.
He's kind of hitting. It's either 04 to 10. He's in that range, but it's usually right for the last. It feels like last week, every night at 12:04 to 12:10, Derek is dropping a new piece of art. Carl says they need to pay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We're gonna put one scale. We would have a lot of people all over that. If I showed you what the number one keywords that brought people to calf were. Yeah, we should be charging money for those momentary,
oh man.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how long they spend on the site either. I don't want to know.
No, you don't want to know. You do not want to know. But
the seedy underbelly of this thing, Bill.
It is so true. It is funny though, because the thing is, who they are, because literally I get an email a week where somebody's like, please delete my account, and I'm like, yeah, you just created it today to get in and look at some padlocked artwork. I know. In my early days, I would actually be kind of crude, and I'd say, don't come to my site creating an account just to take a look at some topless whatever. I'd be rude. Today, I almost don't even reply.
You don't have time.
I just delete the account and I walk away. It's but in the early days, yeah, I was like, doggone it. There's another one. All right. Well, hey, it's we made good time tonight.
Not bad at all.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you as always getting to hang out, and you know what? I will put together that package over this weekend too, and I will get
All
it
right.
out to you.
I will.
So you can do an
I'll send
unboxing
it
next.
back with some. I'll send it back with some beer in it.
There you go. There you go. Now, listen, I can't drink. You send me all these wonderful IPAs, and I just can't. I can't do
No
it.
IPAs.
All right. No, I'll take. Everything that's safe is a stout, lager. I'll even take an ale.
Porter.
A porter is
I know.
porters. Yeah, those are my. That's my sweet spot right there. So, and it is my birthday coming up, so you have an
Yep.
excuse.
Yeah.
So mid-April. So, all right. Well, cool. Well,
Good deal.
as always, thank you, Chris. We'll see each other next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. We were doing well when we get done at 11:34 Eastern Standard Time. So, reminder, one thing I just got to tell everybody, I'm so jealous. Stingray, Mikhail, Jason, Tyler T, you're all going to have a great time this weekend at IC3. Please take lots of photos and shoot little video clips when you can. I want to get a feel for the show, and I do think we need to do a collector show afterwards, just to kind of talk about art pickups and all that stuff. I mean, I want to see what you guys get to pick up, and I'll definitely be sharing the pieces that Casper brings back as well. And again, I think IC3 is something that is important. I'm really proud to be a part of this with the whole team here at CAF. Supporting the indie scene, and it really does kind of bring you back to your early days of, at least for me, collecting in the '80s and everything, when indie comics were the en vogue, right? So anyway, enjoy the weekend. But I think, yeah, we got nothing going on. We have no show until next Monday. I've got a Hakes show on that evening. That is St. Patrick's Day. I'll wear green of some form or another. And we'll be hanging out with the Hakes guys, looking at a preview of their current auction, which is on right now, as is the Heritage Signature auction that just got started, and several others. But you guys have a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend, and then I'll see you again next Monday. All right.